Alright, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the final game in round 4 of the Rugby World Cup 2023. This one, the Springboks taking on Tonga. Now, no side as of yet has won 4 games from the first 4 rounds. The Springboks have the opportunity to do that here if they get themselves the monumental win over Tonga. Of course, they will be chasing nothing less than a bonus point to help increase their chances of making it through to the quarterfinals, in which they already have 1 foot in the door. Looking through at their starting lineup, that is Australia. That's the wrong side. One moment. There we go. The Springboks, they are down there. Oxlade, Dion Foree at number 2, and Vincent Koch returning from his injury. He is going to be at number 3 for this contest. Also, Dion Foree, his first start of 2023 as a hooker, with Mako van Staden making his way off the bench. Eben Etzebeth keeps his spot in the starting side. He did have a shoulder injury, which kept him out of the Romanian game. He played up against Ireland. They're giving him more minutes here before those quarterfinals. Marvin Ori, he is at number 5. Another opportunity for that young man. Sia Khaleesi at number 6. He will also be the captain for this match. Dwayne Vermeulen at 7. A little bit of a surprise for quite a few people to see that man's name at the blindside flanker. And then Jasper Wiese as the number 8. So those 2 men, I believe, are both fighting for that same number 8 position. The question mark is, who out of those 2 will end up getting it for the quarterfinals? Cobus Reinach gets a start at 9 with Andre Pollard returning at 10. Now Reinach, coming off a hat-trick up against the Romanians, has a lot of try-scoring ability. We'll be looking to use it in this game. And Andre Pollard, the kicking is what so many people have been concentrated on for this week. Coming into the starting side, returning from his injury, which has left him out for a majority of 2023. Andre Esterhuizen at number 12 and Kanan Moody on his outside at 13. So the same combo as the Romanian game. Makazole Mapimpi at number 11, also coming off a hat-trick. Grant Williams at number 14, so the second halfback in the side, and Vili LaRue at number 15. Looking at the chat, I got, yes, Hamish, we have the suit on, nice looking Hamish, says, or looking nice Hamish, says Stefan there, and also the box says Bernard, and welcome H, enjoy the commentary, says Joe. But this is going to be an absolutely epic game of rugby, ladies and gentlemen. I should mention, we are still around an hour from the kickoff of this contest, but we are going to be talking all through about the Springboks side, also what is to come for the Springboks if they are to get themselves the victory here, and what it means if they somehow do not walk away from this game with the try-scoring bonus point. Will they still make it to the quarterfinals? Looking through at the Tongan starting lineup, they are going to be as follows. Sage Fisiahui is at number 1, Paula Naumu at 2, and Ben Tamefuna, the captain, will be slotting in as the number 3. Leva Fafita at number 4, and Sam Lausi 5, so the same combo as Tonga did have in their last game up against Scotland. Hala Whanua at number 6, Sione Havili Talatui at 7, the Crusaders open side flanker. Very, very good player in the breakdowns, and he is going to be tested physically here up against the Springboks, and I hope he is up for the challenge. And then it is going to be Samisi Paya at number 8. That is due to the suspension of Vaya Fafita after putting in the cheap shot on Finn Russell last week. Means that he is missing from the Tongan outfit. Augustin Pulu at number 9 with William Havili as the starting 10. I still feel like Sonatane Takalua would have been the better suit for this contest, but Pulu still adds quite a bit to this Tongan backline with Takalua coming off the bench. Peter Aki at number 12 with Malakai Fikitoa on his outside at 13. Tua Tavuki out on the left wing. Finney Anisi out on the right, and Charles Piatau at number 15. So still a very strong Tongan side. Quite a few changes compared to what we have seen in past years for the Tongans. The injection of Piatau and Fikitoa in that back line. Also some big solid forwards going head to head with a box here. 10% say Tongan's going to win. Must be an American. Says Jacques Smith. I think they've just seen this Rugby World Cup so far and realised that anything is possible. Now, that's not saying that it's a likeliness, but we cannot completely rule out a monumental upset. Is it going to happen? It does have a good chance. Oh, yeah, they love the tie H conservative. Says Robin there. Also, if Tonga could pull the pin out. And Abro says, guess me. And also, do they go after the 4 tries hard in the first 40? I think so. The sooner that they lock in that bonus point, the sooner that they can start to try and tactically work out what their plan could be moving forward. Or do they decide to keep that a secret and just play a completely different game of rugby? Here, Hamish, you look very good. Love your tie. You're wearing shoes or shorts or slippers. Well, I haven't got shoes on, I haven't got shorts on, and I haven't got slippers on. But I do have pants and socks. It's a good start. Hi, Hamish says Benny Lane, welcome in. And hi, says J9. And greetings all, says John. And hey, howdy, hey, y'all, says Scrum Lass. And they're looking smart in the jacket and tie. Hamish says Aneki looking through at the benches for these two sides. For the South Africans, Makafan starting, the replacement number 16. So no Bongi or Manambi. Also, of course, no Malcolm Marks due to that injury earlier on in the World Cup. But that is actually the reason that Andre Pollard is now playing as the fly half. Stephen Kitsoff at number 17. A lot of stability offered later on in the game from him. And Trevor Kanye at number 18. Franco Mostert at 19 with Juaja Smith starting in as the number 20. Jaden Hendrickse at 21. Mani Libok as 22. A lot of people wondering whether or not when he comes on the field, whether he goes to fly half and Pollard comes off, or whether Pollard does then transition to the inside centre role. And Jesse Creel at number 23 for the Tongas. It is Sam Molly, also Kalamatangi at number 17, and then Sosefo Apakatoa at number 18. Adam Coleman gets his opportunity for Tonga in this World Cup at number 19. Vailanu at number 20, so going with the 5-3 split in this game for the Tongans rather than the 6-2 that we have seen them use in past games. Takalua at number 21, Pellegrini at 22, and Tamapo, the last man in this Tongan side to close out their starting lineups and reserves. We have got South Africa's going to play hard. Says J9, yeah, this game is going to be a very physical one because we know that the Tongans enjoy bringing that extra bit of strength, little bit of extra power into a game of rugby, and the Springboks will love that. They'll love to meet that head on and try their absolute best to still dominate in the breakdown, which they have been able to in past weeks. You made me laugh, says Starwin Evening, says Eben, and almost 36,000 subscribers. Please everyone. Thanks a billion in advance. Says Grant, yeah, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated. Everyone being there for this live stream. It's going to be a massive one. Tonga hoping to put in one last big shove into the Springboks Rugby World Cup group stage campaign. Although Tonga, they still have got their game next week up against the Romanians, which they'll want to come into in relatively good form. The Box will make our South Africans proud today, says Askabel. And also Pollard, yes, says J9. And yeah, it's that big question mark of how will Pollard do? Back into the starting side. He's been away from that Springbok jersey for almost a year since he was last in action. The Rugby Championship, I believe, was the last time that we did see that man. Was it a rush to put the suit on? It absolutely was. We had less time in between these two games than first anticipated. And the reason for that was because the Australia-Portugal game did run a little bit later than it was originally supposed to. But looking through at some of the previous results that we have had of this round, of course, we just had that game between Australia and Portugal take place, in which the Aussies were able to win it 34 points to 14. Only the 1 point difference compared to what they had in their game between Australia and Georgia a few weeks prior. Uruguay Namibia split by the 10 points, 36 points to 26. Samoa versus Japan was a last-minute thriller, but the Japanese getting over the try line, 28 points to 22. New Zealand scoring 96 points over the Italians. Argentina having a 59 points to 5 win over Chile. So now Japan and Argentina will be playing off for a chance in the quarterfinals. Fiji sneaking their win over Georgia, 17 points to 12. And then Scotland beating Romania, 84 points to 0. Very impressive performance from them. Australia and Portugal, like I mentioned, 34 points to 14, which just leaves us with this one. South Africa, Tonga to close out the Rugby World Cup weekend. Well suited and beautiful for South Africa. Do you know their World Cup will end in tears? Says Tamed. And the question is it going to be happy tears because they are lifting the cup for a second time in a row? Could be. And also 9 says Krampus. What time are they starting, says Michael? So yeah, it is 9 p.m. South African time that it will be starting for this match. So we are around 15 minutes away from the kickoff, ladies and gents. But we've got plenty to look through at for these two sides before we get into the matchup. 30 minutes just didn't seem like enough. You always sound more pumped up with the Box playing. You sound you should immigrate to South Africa, says Stahl. And Tears of Joy, says Joe. And how's it, Amish? Says David Denster. And also, hi, Krampus. Why 23 hours? Are we waiting for an hour? Says Bernice. And there as well. And also, we have the hi, Alta. Says RJJ. And also, RJJ. Says Alta there as well. And hi, Nadisha here. It is currently 8:09 in Johannesburg. So we are getting relatively close to the kickoff. But I do want to know, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your score predictions for this game. Who do you think is walking away with the victory? I assume a lot of people are going to say, of course, the Springboks. So what is the score margin that you think they will be winning by? I believe in my preview, I predicted 77 points to 14 in favour of the Springboks. Now, that might be quite generous because my original score was 67 points to 14, but I still believe that the Springboks, with the side that they've selected, I believe they'll be quite aggressive in the way that they play early on, similar to that start up against Romania when we saw Reinhardt scoring the early hat-trick alongside a few other tries. A suit occasion, says David Dempster there, and also the suitors back like Hamish, says Albert in the box with the South African flags, box by 40, says McKellar there, and in box 138 to the nil of Tonga, says Albert, and also 76, says Andreas. The game starts at 3 p.m. here, says Mo, and 52 points to 35-15 for the box, says Alta. Okay, so going with a little bit of a lower scoring close game between the two teams. You look absolutely fabulous in that suit. How's you feeling about this match? I feel like South Africa will come into this game with a lot of confidence, even though that sounds like a weird thing to say because they did lose their last game to the Irish, but I still feel like for the South Africans, this game is about building that momentum, getting the players who weren't quite firing in that Irish game firing now, so that they can then go into the quarterfinals with a lot of form and confidence. That's why we're seeing the likes of Sia Khaleesi in the starting side. Ebenetsebev as well. I think he wants one big outing for heading towards those playoff games. And Dwayne Vermeulen and Jasper Wiese are both there in the loose forward trio, Pats. That is something they could look at for the playoffs when they do come around. But these are the last 5 results for the Springboks, ladies and gentlemen. 52 points to 16 win over the Welsh. That was in the Rugby World Cup warm-up games. Also, prior to that game, they did get themselves a win over Argentina for the second time in 2023. They had their record win over the All Blacks. That is still the largest losing margin that the ABs have ever had in history, 35 points to 7. And that was a clinical bot performance. Quite a few of the younger players stepping up in that game. The likes of Kane and Moody, who will be out there on the field for this game up against Tonga. Then we got into the Rugby World Cup opening round, 18 points to 3 in favour of South Africa. Springboks then managed to get themselves the win over the Romanians, 76 points to 0. So Romania, they've had a couple tough games so far throughout this Rugby World Cup. And then Ireland versus South Africa. It was a real test match feel of a game. 13 points to 8, the Springboks did end up defeated, but they are not down, they are not out, and they are ready to go to start that redemption arc for the Tongans. They have had themselves 5 games throughout this stage as well that we are looking through, although we're only looking at these 2 when it comes to the Rugby World Cup. Ireland versus Tonga, 59 points to 16 loss. Scotland versus Tonga, 49 points to 17. Now I have to say, one of the main reasons that the Tongans were able to score as many points as they did, and also maybe a little bit of the reason that they didn't concede too many points, was via Fafita. He was one of the keys for them, got himself red carded in that Scotland game, so him not being there up against the Springboks has opened the floodgates and says that there's a real high probability that the Springboks can score big throughout this contest. Looking at the chat, we have got underestimated Springbok, says Alton, also box 50, Tonga 14, and the ref 68. Says Rhodes, and the box, you must do something today, says J9, although he's only coming off the bench in this contest. Doesn't get that starting spot. Instead, it is going to be Handré Pollard, who does get the start at number 10. And I'm curious to see what that man can do. We've only seen him play a little bit throughout 2023. That was for the Leicester Tigers, and that game actually ended up with a yellow card from the short amount of time that he did play. And gents, round of applause for Hamish, says Philip, and also 80 for the box, 18 for Tonga, says Michael. What changes to the game do you think there will be by the time the next World Cup is in 2027? There will be a lot, I believe. Quite a few changes, whether or not that's to do with the high tackle rulings, whether that's to do with just discipline in general in terms of the breakdowns. They've already changed quite a few things for this World Cup, some good, some bad. I think that the yellow card on report has still been a little bit shaky in terms of what they decide on. And I should mention in this game, if there are any injuries, if there are any red cards for the Springboks, that may impact them going forward in this contest and going forward throughout this Rugby World Cup. This game will be taking candy from the baby by the box, says Busumusi in there. And to be honest, they should win big in this game. It's one of those ones that it is definitely a mismatch. The Tongan side, they just haven't quite been able to find their form throughout this Rugby World Cup. Also lacking a bit of discipline, which is where the Springboks will really able to make the most of it. And that is actually pretty ideal for South Africa because they will have Dion Fourie, the man who will be thrown in the lineouts. He will need as much practice as he can get in a game scenario. I wouldn't even be surprised if they put Marco van Staden on at half-time to give him that same opportunity to try and get some minutes under his belt at hooker. Hamish For you, luck, you need to sneeze 3 times to South Africa. Says Robert, I don't actually think I've sneezed today yet, though, so that is quite good news. Some people might be confused by that statement. Pretty much I get hay fever, so sometimes sneezing my head off. But the referee in charge of this game, I did see that question from Jarvis. It is Luke Pearce. His assistant referee is Matthew Carley and Christoph Ridley. And then the TMO in charge of this one is Brett Cronin. So Luke Pearce, the English referee, we've seen quite a bit of him throughout the Gallagher Premiership, I believe is where he spends most of his time. Also the URC, I think we've seen him a little bit. Who's the ref tonight? Wayne Barnes-ish. Says Charles, it is not. No, it is Luke Pearce. Matthew Carley, he is known for being very pedantic when it comes to the decisions that he makes. But sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing, depending on how much of a flow of the game you do want to see. Pollard was born class, says Albert. And also we got there Tonga and Tonga win. Ireland and Scotland will go through and the Box will go home, says Crumpus. Very true. So that is why the Springboks, even though they've made quite a few changes, they have still got some foundational players in their lineup, whether that's Khaleesi, Vermeulen, Visa, Etzebeth, Pollard, Mapimpi. They've gone with the side that they still know can get the job done. And they also have gone with a few guys that they want to give some game time to, see if they are ready for those playoff matches. I think it will be South Africa versus Romania, given that South Africa actually get conversions, says Andres there. Wayne Barnes is going to ruin this game. He's not the referee, though. It's Luke Pearce in charge of this one. Wayne Barnes has nothing to do with this game. He will be watching it from the comfort of his hotel room. Will you actually show the game? Says, I'm due to licensing any match footage or audio that we show gets us taken straight off YouTube. So sadly, we are unable to show the game, but we will be doing the live play-by-play commentary all throughout this matchup. And okay, thanks, Hamish. Says Jarvis, no worries at all. And what do you think of England's chances? Well, England have started this World Cup extremely well. 3 wins from 3. They are one of 4 undefeated teams throughout this Rugby World Cup. France being one, England being another, Wales, and also Ireland. They are the 4 undefeated, but South Africa, at this stage, they are looking to get themselves another victory. I realised in the intro, I actually said that South Africa were looking to get 4 wins from their first 4 games, but that's not possible, so I assume the comment section would have already destroyed me at the time that this video has gone up. I have a feeling the Box have a good chance of winning this one. Says Albert's probably a decent shout. I'm loving the suit, brother. Going to be some sore bodies after this game, says Flanders. And the big thing for the South Africans will be to get out of this game injury-free. Because if you end up with injuries in this kind of contest, that is when, right before a World Cup quarter-final, it can get relatively tricky. Now, the benefit that the South Africans have is they have got next week off, which is why they could afford to use the players like Eben Etzebeth, etc. But I still do not think that an injury at this time would be absolutely, in any way beneficial for the Box, because I don't think there's another player they could bring in that will be able to replace the guy that gets injured. They had Andre Pollard up their sleeve for Malcolm Marx, which was a very good choice to be able to bring in Pollard, although it does also mean that Marnie Libok, now maybe he is feeling a little bit underconfident because of what has happened. When they're starting, says BDK, they are starting in 40 minutes time. So we are still a little bit away, but we still got plenty of build-up that is just around the corner. Pollard will last 9 minutes. Says Crumpus, is that until you feel he's going to get injured? Crumpus, hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we get to see a decent enough performance here from Andre Pollard. I think that they'll ideally want to give him around 50 to 60 minutes. Players get injured in training, so let them play, says Albert. That's very true. Malcolm Marx's injury, he got a cut in the game, but he got an injury in training, which the injury was actually the one that knocked him out. How many other players? Caleb Muntz, injury training. That was a massive blow for the Flying Fijians. Who else have we had? Injury, Vincent Koch in training. He hadn't even had a minute, I don't think, of this Rugby World Cup before he had got injured. So it just makes you wonder, are they training too hard, or is it just the fact that in this sport with contact, every once in a while something is going to go wrong? Please express lots of excitement when the Box score, says Mega Butterfly. We will be able to do just that. I'm sure we will do the same, though, if Tonga get themselves over the try line. Going to be embarrassing for South Africa, yeah, says Shay. And I'm South African, but Kiwi at heart, says Grant. Skeleton injury in training, says Albert. So, yeah, so many players are actually going down in the training side of things rather than the actual match contact. Seems to be that the 80 minutes that you're out there on the field, yes, it's probably the most intense that you are playing, but then that can also be when they're in training, maybe they're just not quite, I guess you're not expecting to get injured, are you? You're kind of just training along. My mate like your outfit, says Willie, thank you very much. This has the 2015 Japan feel about it, says Krampus. Don't know about that. It's going to be an interesting game, though. And I know that Tonga will want to try and keep it as close as they can for as long as they can, but if the Springboks come out firing like they did up against Romania, there is a heavy chance that after around 20 minutes, we could see the Springboks up 26 points to 0. In fact, that's going to be my prediction. See whether or not we're correct with that. Tonga, they have got one more game coming up in this Rugby World Cup campaign. They will be going head-to-head with the Romanians, 4:45 AM New Zealand time, and what will be an awesome game next week. And alongside that, for anyone wondering about what matches are taking place for next week, I already mentioned that the Springboks, they have got themselves a bye, so they do not have a game they will be taking part in, and rather having to wait for the quarterfinals to come around. But we'll go like this, click that button, and then hopefully if I click this, they are going to come up. There we go. New Zealand playing Uruguay on the 6th of October. France versus Italy. That is going to be on the 7th. Now, I should mention, if you are in South Africa, what you do is you add an hour and then change the AM to PM, and that is the time that these games will be starting. Wales, Georgia, that has taken place as the first of 3 games on the Sunday morning for us here in New Zealand, or Saturday night in South Africa. England versus Samoa, and Ireland versus Scotland. Now, currently, there are only 2 sides that are guaranteed their spot in the quarterfinals, these 2, England and the Welsh. Japan versus Argentina, whoever wins that is guaranteed that quarterfinal spot. Tonga versus Romania will be an interesting one, game being played for pride and also trying to get some momentum near the end of the comp. And then Fiji, Portugal. If Fiji lose that game by less than 7 or get themselves the victory, they will be going through to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. So still plenty to go in that final round, but we are at the stage here how we only have 17 more games remaining of this Rugby World Cup. We have got there, no one's child, my friend, but I do think that the Tongan 6, 7 and 8 will be desperate to clatter Hondre, knowing he is cold to test. I pray for, he remains safe. Hondre is good, humble, / non-arrogant. Says Kernovic. And also, what the heck is the box doing in training, Sister Wera? Yeah, they must be like throwing each other at brick walls or something, but you know that they're a side that they must train as hard as they go out there on the field and play. So injuries are going to happen. We saw already Vincent Koch. He is back for this game. Malcolm Marks wasn't so lucky. Unfortunately, did end up with a bit more of a serious injury. We have got Hondre needs a good clattering, says Derek. And I believe that for Tonga, their tactic needs to be to target Hondre Pollard. It sounds terrible to say because, of course, their intention going into this game won't be to physically harm Hondre Pollard, but they'll want to put big hits on him. Because if they can put him under pressure, the backline for the South Africans may start to misfunction just a little bit. Kanan Moody and Andre Easthuizen in the midfield is a very interesting one for me, though, because at the moment, I think a lot of people are saying Jesse Kriel, Damien Dialende, that's a 12 and 13 combo. Even though Easthuizen's been in some pretty decent form, we didn't see a huge amount of him in that game up against Romania. But if Kanan Moody and Andre Easthuizen have an absolute blinder here, there's a chance that they may leapfrog one of those 2 individuals when it comes to the quarterfinals in the game up against France, and players don't warm up enough before training. This is from a former ballet dancer, says Goldberg. And also we have got there, shock of the World Cup as Portugal lose to Minnows Australia, says Dr. Bronchosaurus, or Bronchonuus, I think that is. And also I trust the English to get an easy ride for their chariot, says Kerno Week, but there is a chance that in the semi-finals, the English come up against someone on the side of the draw, whether that's South Africa, France, Ireland, or New Zealand. I think it's either Ireland or New Zealand, though, if I'm correct in the way that it is. This is serious stuff. Guys are making me laugh, says Joe. And also, I sort it. Only one person sounds like he is full of it, says Charles. And also, we have got there, good luck to both teams. May the odds ever be in your favour, says Charles. Don't they say that at the start of the Hunger Games? I hope that we don't have any as serious injuries as you see in the Hunger Games, or else then got blokes out here getting decapitated, which would not be ideal. No one likes crumpets in the anus, says LaRue. But now looking through at the way that the table sits, we have been talking heavily about this group and what it means if the South Africans get themselves the win. So if they win with a bonus point here, they will go above the South Africans, above the Irish, sitting on the 15 points. Now, if they don't win with that bonus point, that is when this group gets a little bit more spicy, because if Scotland can pull off the upset up against Ireland and win that game by more than 7, as well as receiving that bonus point, that would actually mean that Ireland and Scotland are the 2 sides that go through. Now, that is extremely unlikely to happen in that way that I described, but there is still just that little tiny, 0.5% chance that South Africa can somehow miss out. But if they win this game comfortably with that bonus point, those doubts should almost be taken away. And the reason that I say about that is the head-to-head fixtures. That is what they are deciding for the tiebreakers. As you can see, number one, head-to-head result. Have you beaten that other side that you're on the same points with? If so, you do advance. If it was a draw, which in this case we have no draws, they have taken place, you then go to your points difference. Who scored the most points throughout that World Cup? Then you look at your tries, then you look at your points for tries for, and then down at number 6, I mentioned about it on the last live stream, Rugby World Ranking comes into this World Cup very little. And that is when the draws announced, which was about 2.5 years ago. And this is the only other time that your ranking means, I guess, anything in terms of this World Cup, any type of advantage that it gets you. So I guess that's the thing. If we get down to that 6th one, then two sides have been very even throughout this Rugby World Cup, and that ranking could be the thing that does slightly separate them. No one likes, oh no, I read that one. We're not nervous, Crumpets. We are excited for our team. And also, we're glad Crumpets get off the platform. When the Springboks play, don't be a grumpy listener. Go back, bring it home. And also, we have got there, I want to see the wings run. That's the thing, Makazole Mapimpi. Last game up against the Romanians, he was not looking like he was going to be passing the ball too much. And I believe that is because Makazole Mapimpi, at the moment, feels he is the second choice for that left wing. They've been going with Chisel and Colby there. They also have the option of switching Kurtley Arinsa if they really wanted to. But I believe Makazole Mapimpi, he thought that game up against Romania, that was the one that he needed to prove himself. This game for me is actually the one that they'll be looking at. Yes, he had a great performance up against Romania, scored the 3 tries. But if he can really help his side, and I'm talking not just scoring tries, but also setting them up, I think the Springboks coaches will be looking at the assists here for their certain players. We saw Kane and Moody in that last game up against the Romanians as well. He decided to have a bit of a run by himself, cost his team a try. They'll be looking at that. They'll be looking at what they can do to increase the chances of the Springboks scoring more team tries throughout this game. What's your favourite Springbok player? Or who's your favourite Springbok player at the moment? Says Bradley Rogerson. Oh, favourite Springbok. I mean, it's actually really hard. There are a lot of great players in the Springbok side. I mean, I always love watching Eben Etzebeth play, but I feel like that's kind of the cop-out answer a little bit, isn't it? But Eben Etzebeth, that physicality and just that mentality of I'm going out there and I'm going to be as dominant as physically possible over every single other person who stands across from me. I also enjoy when he gets angry and when he's holding on to someone's collar, he goes like, he opens his eyes as wide as he can. He's probably got pretty decent eyesight overall, Eben Etzebeth. And Willie has said Eben. And there in Etzebeth as well, says Berenice. We have got Kinsani has got the thumbs down. And there Moody says Goldberg is Eddie Jones. Or if Eddie Jones destroys Japanese rugby, will anyone notice, says Dr. Brankenist? They might, because Japan have a very good chance of making their way through to the next stage in this competition. Because if they are able to beat Argentina, I'll be honest, if they beat Argentina, whoever was going to give Eddie Jones the Japanese coaching contract should rip it up, chuck it out the window, and say, sorry, Eddie, but you don't quite live up to the expectations that we need you to, because Japan, they were struggling in the Pacific Nations Cup, but now they seem like they're actually starting to find their stride. And to get rid of the coach after he's done something good for his side, it's the complete opposite of the scenario the Wallabies find themselves in. And the moment, box by 55 points, Tonga will get a red card. Says Barker, and of course they did get themselves one in the last game of Via Fafita. Looking through at their starting lineups for anyone who hasn't seen them already. The Springboks, they've made quite a few changes. That's once again Australia. One moment, there we go. Springboks, they've made a few changes compared to what they did have in their last game up against the Irish. In fact, out of the 2 games, you'd say that this is more similar to what they did have up against the Romanians. Oxenishare at number 1. Brilliant player off the bench in the last few performances, as well as when he did start earlier on. Dion Fori, his first start at number 2. Lineouts need to be accurate for the Springboks. We actually saw in that last game between South Africa and Ireland, that was where Ireland was struggling early on. Their line-out throws from Kelleher were not accurate enough, and it did end up building more momentum in favour of the Boks. Vincent Koch returning from injury at number 3. I'll be honest, I wasn't sure if we were going to see that man throughout the whole of this Rugby World Cup competition. There were injury news early on in the comp. He's fought back well, though. Now gets himself that start at tight head prop. Eben Etzebeth keeps his spot in the starting lineup. Another man who has had to fight back from injury, but we know Eben Etzebeth, and he will fight absolutely anything, even a lamppost if he had to. Marvin Ori At number 5, the youngster, he had the opportunity up against Romania. I don't see him getting a huge amount of time in the playoff games for the Springboks, but still a good opportunity to test him out, see if he is going to be match fit and ready to go just in case they do need him. In the near future, Sia Khaleesi, the captain, at number 6, Dwayne Vermeulen. At number 7, for the first time in a long time, Vermeulen doesn't put on the number 8 or the jersey off the bench. Jasper Wiese starts at 8. He's had a good Rugby World Cup so far, which is great news for the Springboks, as he was actually one of the players who came into this competition slightly out of form. Kobeth Reinach, number 9, scoring the hat-trick up against the Romanians. Hondre Pollard at number 10. The kicking accuracy of that man is what a lot of Springbok supporters are looking at throughout this game. If he can nail 90% of his kicks, and I believe he will get the chance to take 10 throughout this game, will certainly give the Boks a lot of confidence. Andre Esterhuizen and Keenan Moody, they will be the midfield combination. They were actually my pick to be the midfield at the start of this Rugby World Cup. They have only tried it once, but in that time, I'd like to think that if they give it a little bit more time to settle, could be very effective. Makazole Mapimpi at number 11, scoring the hat-trick in the last game up against the Romanians. Grant Williams out on the other wing. He was able to get 2 in that fixture. And then Willie LaRue back at number 15, offers a lot off the kicking in terms of inside of that 22, the territory game. And I was going to say is a nice cool head at the back, but if you piss him off, he'll be very fiery. Willie LaRue, maybe that's the mentality that the Springboks want to have into this game. Do or die, get going, and try and cause a massive scoreline. Here we have got 34 messages in the chat. I will try my best to read as many of them as I can. We've got hello from Caldwell. Welcome in. We are doing very well. So South Africa will not play Ireland or France in the final, and neither will be a France-Ireland final, says CK. So South Africa can still play Ireland in the final, but they won't be able to play France in the final if the French end up finishing on the same, like if they finish first in their group. So if Italy managed to pull off the upset up against the French, that would actually mean that New Zealand and Italy go through in Group 1 and the host nations would be knocked out. Also, mathematically, Ireland can still not make the quarterfinal. Says CK, and South Africa needs 5 points and a margin of 37 to guarantee a quarterfinal spot. Says Muvleni, although the points differential is actually not what they are basing a majority of their decisions off. It's actually head-to-head fixture comes in first and then points differential. So it's a bit confusing for this Rugby World Cup. I'll be honest, they seem to have switched it up quite a bit compared to what we have seen in the past, but it's going to be massive depending on those little head-to-head moments. Bonus points, I've mentioned it all throughout this Rugby World Cup. They have been absolutely crucial. The Springboks may find that out for next week because they got that bonus point up against the Irish. That might be what keeps them in the hunt, but of course it depends on what happens for Scotland, Ireland next week. Should be entertaining to find out. Anyone who has keeping up with the Kardashians season 2 with Italian subtitles, I have not watched that show. No, holy crap. When I saw this was live in my feed, I almost had a heart attack. Thought I missed the start of the game. Says JP, no, we have got quite a big build-up planned, so you are all right. But the game is now only 27 minutes away. I can't believe that it's already been 33 minutes on this stream. It has been flying by. I hope you guys have been enjoying the chat so far. If you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are 20 subscribers away from 36,000, and we would love to be able to hit it before the start of this contest. Springboks should win, says Michaela. As if Marks is healed by some chance, can he come back for the semi-final? I don't believe they're allowed to bring him back in, that I know of. Now, I don't know of the exact rules in terms of what they can and can't do, but I believe for Malcolm Marks, because he's been taken out of the side, the only time he can come back in is if someone else was injured, and then Malcolm Marks could be their injury replacement. But by the sounds of it, he is going to be out for more than just a few weeks, so I don't think we'll quite see him back. Dwayne Vermeulen and Moody, my favourite box today, says Albert. And also we have got there New York City as an awful flood, says Goldberg. And also Caleb Moody to score the first try, says Morne Lagrange. And he stays in plus Moody over Damien and Creel, says JP. Although I think a lot of people would admit that Jesse Creel and Damien Dialende, they haven't actually been too bad throughout this Rugby World Cup. I thought of them as quite a good combination for the Boks to use. In that game up against the Irish, we still saw some decent moments from them. It was just the fact that they couldn't quite get that attacking run through the Irish defence that they definitely needed. We saw the one try being scored by the Boks. That was Cheslin Colby who was able to score it, but he is not playing in this game. Of course, missing Marks, Lukanyuam and Beast, says Pepperstone. And also we have got their Sia has hit form today. Says Auckland and Ireland have to get minimum 1 point in order to progress, says Charles. Yep, so even if Ireland lose, like they theoretically have to lose by less than 7 and they'll be fine. Are you going to show the live game? Says Mariel or Maruli. Hopefully I've said that correctly. Sadly, due to licensing, if we show any match footage or audio, we do get taken straight off YouTube, but we will be doing the play-by-play commentary, trying to paint the picture of what is happening on the field, and then, of course, the highlights will be up on YouTube straight after the game, so you guys are able to watch them try fest by the two wings. Too much speed for Tonga, says Habash, and that's the thing. In the game up against Scotland and Romania, I said that it would be the wingers, one of which was going to get a hat-trick, and in the end it was Darcy Graham. He went on and got himself the 4 tries in that game. My big question, ladies and gentlemen, hat-tricks. In this game for South Africa, how many do we think we're going to see, and who is going to be the ones who get them? Now, for me personally, I believe that this game is going to be the perfect opportunity for, well, that's the thing. I think Grant Williams has a better chance of getting a hat-trick, but Makazole Mapimpi, he won't pass, so he's got probably more of the ball in his hand to be able to get that hat-trick, if that makes sense. Okay, there. Who do you think is going to score the first try, says Mola Lagrange? I believe that the Springboks, they'll try and use that back line, and I actually think there's a chance that we see a forward sneak around the side of the breakdown over the line. Switching to SABC2 for the video, keeping Hamish on for the commentary. Best combination right now in South Africa, says Gary Smith. And high Springboks win, says Marcus. And no Cheslin, I'm guessing Moody to 14, says Ian Foster. Well, the option that they've got for the Springboks currently is Moody. He can play out on the right wing if they do need him to. Grant Williams, I assume that he will be replaced later on in the game, maybe by Kanan Moody, and then Jesse Creel goes into the midfield. I'm wondering whether or not they move Pollard to 12, though, at any stage throughout this game. Ben Tamefuna is the man who's going to score the hat-trick, and Mapimp will, says Jimbo, and Bok Hooker to score, says Charles. So that would be Dion Foree, a man who has switched between being a hooker and also in that loose ball trio, actually had almost the most turnovers won throughout the URC last season. The only difference between him and the man who finished at the top was about 2 or 3, and that was Marco van Staden, the other Springboks hooker for this game. But I heard an interesting stat a little bit earlier on in the week, and that was ever since Malcolm Marx has been injured, the Springboks have averaged, I believe it's 2 less turnovers won per game. Now, Malcolm Marx, we know how great he is with the line-out throw, but the fact that the average of turnovers won has dropped drastically since he's left the starting lineup, like, that does show the amount of impact that man has and just how much of a blow it is for the South Africans to not have him available. But Dion Foree, the reason I mentioned about his turnovers one stat is because I believe he has to play that Malcolm Marx role, getting in the breakdown, jackling over the ball, and up against Tonga, who might be a little bit slower to the breakdown than some of the other sides that South Africa have played recently. That is where they could find themselves 1 or 2 extra penalties. Williams to score the hat-trick, says Gary Johnson, and switching to SABC2 for the video, but keeping Hamish on for the commentary, says Mario there as well. And it's going to be definitely Tonga forcing a kicking game and Box wanting to have a run. Lots of forced penalties by Tonga. Watch for them to force our boys into red cards, says Lorna. And I think scrum feeds are going to be so interesting, or just scrums in general for this game, because Tonga are known for their big forward pack, but South Africa are known for just having that real shunt about them when they go into a scrum. So if Tonga get forced backwards a couple times early on, that is probably going to correlate to a yellow card a little bit later in the contest, if not maybe even in that first half. The Box will be going for a rolling ball for their first try, says Charles. Hello to all my fellow South Africans. Let's go the Box. Mess Tonga up. Show them who is world champions, says Desmond. And also Springboks 35, Tonga 25, Rugby World Cup. 30 to 25, Tonga World Cup 2007. And also Marx is an obvious choice for a world team, says Gary Smith. And Kiwi Lad, I always come early to the stream, says Ahan, and it is hugely appreciated, ladies and gentlemen. Only 20 minutes away from the kickoff in this contest. Malcolm Marx lost for South Africa, most important Bok, says Albert there. And I like rugby, but I am 10, says Tobago. Do you play rugby yourself? And if you do, what position are you? Out there on the field, we have got there, I hope Tonga is not going to do a haka, says Vusumuzi. And also we have got there, Springboks need another Ox de Rent. Marx Beast, Franz Stein, and Monestein, says Goldberg. And I feel like a lot of people feel with Pollard coming into that number 10 jersey, that might be the answer to some of the Springboks problems kicking-wise. But the question is, will Handré Pollard, in his first game back from being injured for so long, will he be able to offer the same attacking prowess that Mani Lebok does? Because Pollard has been pretty much built up as he's going to fix everything. And I want him to do well, of course, but I feel like that pressure that he's going to have It's going to be absolutely massive. You talk too much, says to Bogo. And there's, okay, well, I don't care what position you play then. Be like that. Can you imagine the pressure that must be on Andre Pollard? We have got there, mostly everyone is assuming the kicking to the poles should be better because of him. Hopefully he can handle the pressure, says JP. Yeah, a lot of people are expecting 90+% at Marvin Ori who? And Marvin Ori, the big lock from the South Africa, says Ian Foster. Yeah, he has played quite a few games throughout 2023. Actually, he's had quite a few minutes. He's had more starting minutes than RG Snyman. Pollard is best, says Werner. Imagine being on the field and watching the green and gold just coming on, or keep coming and coming and coming. It's a stuff made of nightmares, says Gary. And also, FYI, South Africa population 60 million, Tonga population 106,000. 2021 just saying, says Bruce. Yeah, Tonga come into this game as huge underdogs. That is no denying, better than Libok, says Werner. So question, Werner, would you say that Pollard's attacking game when it comes to like causing try assists and whatnot, would you say that that is stronger than Mani Libok? Out of curiosity, because I saw a stat as well, which was throughout 2022, 2023 season, the Springboks had more tries scored than any other side in World Rugby on average. Now, Mani Libok, he was at number 10 for a majority of those games that they were able to get themselves a majority of tries. He also had that try assist of Kurtley Arinsa in that game up against Scotland. He had a huge amount of assists throughout the Rugby Championship. No, but Pollard is the complete fly half, says Werner. Would you make an exception, go Pollard as 12, Mani Libok 10, or do you think D'Alende or Andre Esterhuizen is the better suit for that position? What's happening on the field? They are still not quite out there, but we are only around that 15 or 20 minutes away from the start of this contest. We have got there as well a nice comment from a gaming cookie. It's very friendly, isn't it? He needs this, says J9. I'm not even amazed how people can write Mani Libok off. Some of his kicking errors must be blamed on management, especially Rassi, says Desmond. And also we have got there Marvin Ori as bad brew, says Werner. I mean, he is possibly not as in form as some of those other players, but we've got to remember, like, all players start somewhere. There would have been a time throughout a majority of the Springbok locking careers that they felt like they were almost on the verge of leaving the team. Marvin Ori probably feels that at the moment, but if he is stuck with for a few more years, we've got to remember the guy is young as well. I'm just going to quickly get his age. I believe he's 25 or something like that. 25. No, he's 30. Okay, he wasn't the one who I was thinking of. Oh, hang on. I think I've got him round the wrong way. How old's this bloke? Salman Morat was who I was thinking of 25 years old. I knew that one of them was a little bit older, but I didn't realise he was 30 in there. And Tonga is underdogs, but every South African is still nervous. It's how competitive we are, says Stull. And I guess a big hit to the South Africans as well was before the competition losing Ludiacha. He would have been a brilliant player throughout this World Cup. Marvin Ori is on his way to being a GOAT. Just watch his off the ball work, says Ian Foster. And also I come back and on Friday the rescue helicopter turn around over my front yard, says Kiwi Gamer. And Tonga are going to get washed, says Robert Addy. And to be fair, in terms of the betting odds, in terms of the rankings, they should. So I guess that's why if somehow Tonga can help keep this game close, as you can see here, $36 underdogs. Portugal just lost to Australia by 20 points. They were $13 underdogs. So according to that maths, Tonga should lose this game by around that 55 to 60 points, which I believe is actually relatively close to what I predicted. I said 77 points to 14 in favour of the Springboks, but they do come in as heavy underdogs. So if they're able to somehow get themselves the win, it would be massive. But is there a big chance that that happens? I do not really think so. Looking through at the games that we saw yesterday, though, as you can see, there's a trend at the moment in this Rugby World Cup. You either have a close game or you have a very one-sided affair. 59 points to 5. Argentina winning their game over Chile. Scotland winning it 84 points to 0. And then 17 points to 12. The Fijians sneaking the win up against Georgia, fighting back in the second half. And I believe in the second half is when we're really going to see the Springboks pour on that pressure, try and apply as much as they can. Play Pollard at hooker. And also all the way from South Africa here, bro. I really enjoy your commentaries. Give me a shout out if you can, says Bradley Root. Hopefully I've said your last name correctly, but thank you very much, Bradley. Hugely appreciated. I will mention the chat is going extremely quick at the moment, so if I do miss any messages, I do apologise. I will try my best to read as many of them as I can. We have got there as well, even Ludiacha is better than Marvin Ori, says Burner, and give a shout out to South Africa. Says Bradley, I mean, South Africa, they were my pick at the start of this competition to be able to walk away as the champs back to back. I feel like that game up against Ireland, we can't take too much away from it. It was close, could have gone either way. It's commentating live with the game is really good. Says J9, how are you, Hamish? How's the ball with Australia? Says Kevin, at the moment it is heating up because Australia, with that last win, getting the bonus point, now means that Fiji do need to at least either win their game next week or get within the 7 points to be able to walk away with enough on the board to go through to the quarterfinals. Can you speak Afrikaans? Says it was Jan Lutz. The only Afrikaans I know is Baie Dankie and Jou Lekker Ding. That's about all. And also I know a couple of the swear words because I've been called them many times in these live stream chats. Fun fact. Marnie Libok should slot into the 12. I'm not sure about Libok at 12. I feel like if they are to do that, they're more likely to put Andre Pollard as the 12. And then from there, have Marnie Libok go to 10. And to our good kind commentator, says Chloe. And also here comes a repeat half a brain cell select as Libok at 10 and Andre 12. Think it through. Covers kicking and X Factor basic. Says Adrian there, and commentators are meant to talk. If they didn't, I don't know what is going on if you're listening on the radio. And Jou Lekker Ding. And also Welsh are not Scot or Irish blood, says Krampus. And Jou Lekker Ding says I was here there too. Can you say go Bok? I certainly can. We will be saying it all throughout the match, as well as go Tonga. At the end of the day, we want to see this be a competitive fixture, and we want South Africa to be able to take a lot of learnings out of this game as they head towards that quarter final. Now, I should mention anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are currently just about on 36,000 subscribers. We're not sure what our goal should be by the end of this stream, but if you do want to help us get somewhere up towards that 36,500, please do hit that subscribe button. We are here for every game of the Rugby World Cup all throughout the night here in New Zealand. You can also find the Celtics versus LA Lakers. Says it was there from Blues Nate. Looking through at the starting lineups once again for anyone who hasn't seen them, the South Africans making quite a few changes compared to what we saw in their last game up against the Irish. It is Oxnard at number 1, Dion Fourie at 2, and Vincent Koch at 3. The man who returns from injury, Dion Fourie, he is the injury replacement in this starting lineup ahead of Malcolm Marx because, of course, Pollard came in as Marx's straight swap, and there he is there, Andre Pollard, looking focused, looking ready for what will be, to be honest, it's going to feel like one of the more important games of Andre Pollard's career, and I know that that's weird to say, seeing as it is up against Tonga. It's not a finals playoff game, but this is the game where he has to prove either the South African naysayers wrong or he proves the South African supporters right. He needs to have a good kicking day off the tee, or else then for those quarterfinals, the question mark on Mani or whether it will be Andre will be even more heavily split 50-50. And the lock and joy, even Etzebeth recently returning from his injury. He is going to be at number 4. He did play up against the Irish, but giving him more game time here for moving into the quarterfinals. Marvin Ori is at number 5, the 30-year-old, as I did recently learn. Sia Khaleesi at number 6. Dwayne Vermeulen playing at 7. I think that was probably the biggest shock in this starting lineup for the Boks. And then Jasper Wiese there at number 8. A lot of people just assume Vermeulen straight into that 8 jersey for this game up against the Tongans, but they do still want to give Jasper Wiese some more game time, and up against a physical side like Tonga, I'm sure he will be in his element. Kobus Reinhardt coming off a hat-trick up against the Romanians. He will be the starting 9 in this game. Andre Pollard at number 10, returning from a huge injury layoff. We've seen him play once in recent times. That was up against a side in the Gallagher Premiership for the Leicester Tigers. Did only play around that 30 minutes, I believe, and also got yellow carded. So not much to go off in terms of Andre Pollard tape this year. Hopefully does have a good performance in this game. He will also have the kicking tee, like I mentioned earlier on. Andre Esterhuizen at number 12 and Kainan Moody at 13, what some would call the future of the Springboks centre pairing. Makazole Mapimpi coming off the hat-trick up against Romania alongside the man at 9, Kobus Reinhardt. He is at 11. Grant Williams keeps a spot out on the right wing, as he has been playing more as a winger than a halfback throughout this Rugby World Cup. And Villy Leroux slotting in at number 15 to close out a strong-looking Springboks lineup with a few different players thrown in there as well. I'm looking at a few of these names, the likes of maybe Vincent Koch, Dion Fourie, Osnashe, Makazole Mapimpi. These type of guys are looking to have a brilliant performance so that the Springbok selectors, when they look at that quarterfinal and they go, right, who are we going to put in these positions? Those names will be the ones that those men want to have near the top. And looking through at the chat, there are 57 messages that I have missed since I read about that. Never apologise, Hamish. You know what a Colonrix is? I do not know. And also, Box says, Adrian, thanks, George, says Ian Foster in there. And also, they're so dedicated, says J9. Well, we said at the start of the competition, we are covering all 48 games. We've been doing it all throughout the nights here in New Zealand. We have been going sleepless weekends almost to be able to bring all the coverage. It's absolutely worth it, though. It's been absolutely incredible getting to meet so many new people throughout this Rugby World Cup, getting to chat to all of you guys, and also get to watch some brilliant rugby along the way. Injury-free, lad, says Blues Nate. That is the big one. If both of these sides can remain injury-free, that is going to be absolutely massive for the Springboks and Tonga moving forward. Tonga, of course, have their game next week up against the Romanians. They want to close out the group stage with their first victory of this Rugby World Cup. That is, of course, relying on the fact that if this game goes the way of the Springboks, Ian Foster, your analysis of situations is tops. Go the All Blacks, says Ruth. So welcome back. Says DJ, you from New Zealand, says Werner. I certainly am. So these games have been taking place at anywhere between 11 p.m. and then 8 a.m. is when this game is going to be kicking off for this matchup. Looking at the Tongan starting lineup, it is Sashfra Fisiahoy at number 1, Paula Nyaumu at 2, and Ben Tamefuna will be the captain of Tonga, slotting in as the number 3, Leva Fafita at 4, and Sam Lausi at 5. So the same as what they did have in the last game up against Scotland. Then at number 6, it is going to be Tangi Noa, Halo Whanua at 6. Sione Havili Talatui of the Crusaders at number 7, and then Samesi Paia comes into the starting lineup due to the suspension of Via Fafita for his shot on Finn Russell. In the last game, Augustine Poulos still starting at 9. I have mentioned it a few times, but I want to see Takalua get that opportunity to start this match. William Havili at 10, Peter Aki and Malakai Fikatoa will be the midfield pairing. Tua Tavuki out on the left wing, Finney Anisi out on the right, and Charles Piatel, who's already beaten many defenders throughout this Rugby World Cup, mainly his opposite number, whether that was Hugo Keenan in the Irish game, Blair Kinghorn in that game up against the Scottish. He'll have a radar looking straight at Vili LaRue for this game, and whether or not Vili LaRue can stop him, we will have to wait and see. Pollard's defence and attack must be on point tonight, says George. Like I mentioned during the Springboks, looking at their side, everyone is looking heavily at Handré Pollard, because people who feel that Mani Labok should be in the starting side are saying Pollard won't be ready. Will he be able to put on the performance that we need attacking-wise? Because I feel like that is somewhere that a lot of Springbok supporters want to see Handré Pollard going a little bit more maybe aggressive than what we saw him for last year. We see the Springboks now just about to make their way out of the tunnel. Ladies and gentlemen, your pronunciation's very good, Hamish. Well done. Says, was there from Casey. Showing the game, says Linga. Sadly, due to licensing, if we show any match footage or audio, YouTube will strike us straight down. But we are doing the play-by-play commentary all throughout this game, ladies and gents. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Pollard will be fine, says Reed W. And also after the game on the 9th, Hamish, you can sleep well as on the 15th starts the quarters. Says Kevin Layla in there as well. One guy on Forever Sports Podcast made a mockery reading the Tonga names out. It was funny to watch. Says George, and Afrikaans are one of the most expressive languages to express passion of any sort. Here's one for you. It is Xiao Etakop Nai Machine. Thanks for the commentary, says Adrian. Hopefully I didn't butcher that too badly, but Sia Khaleesi having a sing-song in the changing sheds or in the tunnel. Now, he did that in the game up against the Irish, and I think him and Umbanambi were loving it. The rest of the team weren't really joining in. But now they both make their way out of the tunnels. They are ready to go. Oxnashef following Khaleesi out. He's going to be a big game changer in this game, I believe, the Ox, because he's going head-to-head with Ben Tamefuna. That is like two fridges fighting with each other, being thrown at each other by a crane. It's going to be very exciting one. Shave your beard, says Deborah. Fun fact, I did shave it right at the start of the Rugby World Cup. And I think that the good news is now that people are telling me to shave it, it means that I might almost be able to grow facial hair at a decent rate. So I will take that every day of the week. You guys think that it booked or the Box can score drop goals? I don't think they'll be going for them in this game. I'll be honest, if they are, I think that would frustrate a lot of fans as they want to see the Springboks play that attacking rugby the way that we know that they can and the way that they have while Mani Libok has been at number 10. As Irish, the Real Green Machine or the Springboks, depends what shade of green you're looking at. Of course, when you talk about the green and gold, one team comes to mind, although the Wallabies also kind of count as green and gold as well, don't they? But one team comes to mind, and that is the defending world champion South Africa, who have now made their way onto the field, and we are about to hear the South African national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, looking through at their starting lineup for anyone who hasn't seen it, Oxnashad, Dion Foree and Vincent Koch will be the front row. Probably the three men with the least minutes throughout this Rugby World Cup competition. Evan Etzebeth at number 4, Marvin Ori will be slotting in at 5. Both men looking to have a big performance there. Khaleesi at 6. He did have a few handling errors last week. Wants to right those wrongs and cement himself as one of those men in that Springboks starting lineup for their finals games. Dwayne Vermeulen at 7, the surprise of the starting side, and Jasper Visser slotting in at number 8. So a lot of physicality coming from those two. Also going to be a lot of turnovers available in the breakdown, I would think, with those two men being out there on the field. Cobus Reinach coming off a hat-trick. He is at number 9 with Andre Pollard returning from injury. These will be his first minutes for the Springboks since, I believe, the Rugby Championship 2022 competition. So he's been out for a very long time. Pollard does make his return here to have the kicking responsibilities. Andre Estes in at 12 and Kanan Moody at number 13. Makazole Mapimpi, Grant Williams and Vili LaRue to close out the starting lineup at number 15. Looking through at the Tongan stage, Fisi Ahoy, Paula Naumu and Bentame Funa at number 3. The captain, Halaleva Fafita and Sam Lausi at number 5. Tangi Noa Halawhanua at number 6. Sione Havili Talatui at number 7. And Samesi Paia comes in for Vaya Fafita. Augustine Pulu at 9 with William Havili at number 10. Piraki and Malakai Fikitoa will be the midfield. And Zelo Tuitavuki out on their left wing. Finia Nisi out on the right. And Charles Piatel at number 15. But the Springboks national anthem has been sung, ladies and gents, which means we've got the Tonga national anthem. And then we are into this contest. Do let me know your score predictions in the chat as well, ladies and gentlemen, and also who you feel is the player who will score the opening try of the contest. I believe I said that I thought that the backs would use it, but it will be a forward, so I am going, I'm going Dion Foree as the first try scorer. I have to pause your comments so I can match your commentary in the stream. I'm watching about 20 seconds ahead of me, or you're watching about 20 seconds ahead of me, says Rudy. And also we have got that donation from Blues Nate. Thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciated for your donation there. And green and gold finally, says Charles, and people have made big noise about Pollard. Let's see if he performs. Yeah, and we said that earlier on in the build-up. We said Pollard has got a huge amount of weight on his shoulders. Either he's going to be able to step up, or because he's come right back from injury. Like, that's the thing. To expect 100% out of a man who's been away for 9 months is almost insane, but it's what he needs because he's been brought in so close to the quarterfinals. And this will be his only performance before those final playoff games. I just hope he gets out of this game injury-free, because that's the thing. When you rush back from an injury, and I assume that he was slightly rushed back, that can be when the damage is done or when you end up with another injury. I was talking to ex-All Black Norm Maxwell. He said about how if you've got a knee injury on one side, for his instance, he said that as soon as you are almost back with that knee injury, the other knee goes, just because you've been overcompensating for so long. Most of the messages you should not read if I can't swear words. That I pleasure in catching you, says Stahl. And also Gia Hamish, looking forward to this game. It's 7 now in Kiwi and windy Wellington. Go to the box. I'm going to be sneaking peeks during work today, says Adrian. But now Tonga fired up, doing the pre-match rituals, and then we are ready to go for this match, ladies and gentlemen. Good luck, Tonga. Go to the box, says Jack. Are you streaming the game? Unfortunately, due to licensing, if we show any match footage or audio, we get taken straight off YouTube, but we will be doing the play-by-play commentary all throughout the game. And then alongside that, the highlights will be straight up on YouTube afterwards, but you won't be able to find the live game on YouTube due to World Rugby's copyright system. It will take it straight down. And we have got there Tonga for the win, says Peter Wild, and go Tonga, says train to go. Tonga, they will be fired up for this game. Missing Vaya Fafita, who's been one of their keys throughout the first 2 games. It's the best steer, says Pepper Stone. Yeah, that man, I don't think he's intimidated by anything. Yeah, it's probably one of those ones how he's extremely tough, but he might be like scared of spiders or something. You know how like normally it's those big friendly giant scenario, but when he's out on the field, he's certainly not a friendly giant. He will smash your head off. Please, people, give this like button so the algorithm pushes this commentary, says Jody Cookie. Anyone who hasn't already, be sure to also hit that subscribe button. I believe a good goal to have by the end of this live stream will be 36,500. So if you do want to help us get that a little bit closer, be sure to hit that subscribe button. South Africa by a hatful, says Akaris. And also, what's your predictions? I did predict 77 points to 14 in favour of the Springboks. It seemed a little bit harsh on Tonga, as I did actually increase it from my original prediction by an extra 10. But I believe that the Springboks, if they are firing well throughout this game, they are going to be a different beast, and it's going to be extremely hard to stop them. There you go, Tonga. And also, it's a bit scared to spot as well. And play the game, says Yuminami. So the best bet to be able to watch the game, ladies and gentlemen, for anyone who hasn't got it available, if you go onto the Rugby World Cup website, they have got a tab called Where to Watch. And then from there, you will be able to see exactly where you can watch these games depending on where you are in the world. Because, of course, depending on geographically, will depend on what options you have got. Go Tonga, says train to go and respect the suit and roll those likes and subscribe, says Mikhail. Yeah, if you haven't already, do let me know who you think will be the first try scorer in this game. I am back in Dion Fori. I believe the Springboks, they will look for those rolling mauls early on. Although, first kick of the game, I think they might actually go for the penalty. Just give Handré Pollard a nice early chance. In fact, take that back. They're not going for the three-pointers. They're going to be going absolutely everything. Full tank of gas, flying at the line. Reinach first try, says Craig. Very good choice. They managed to do it in the game up against the Romanians. Luke Pearce will be the referee in charge of this one, ladies and gentlemen. Matthew Carley and Christoph Ridley are his two assistant referees. The countdown is on. Tonga, they are kicking off from left, or right to left, in fact. And this game now between the Boks and the Tongans is underway, ladies and gentlemen. The crowds sound absolutely electric. It's been overcooked over the top of Marvin Ori, and now the Springboks, I believe they touched Reinach, so this will now be a line-out throw for the Tongans, I believe. Although Luke Pearce has to make this decision, I think it touched Reinach as the ball was about to go into touch and went over the top of Marvin Ori. Why do you get scared of it? He kind of had his hands up, put the arms down, and it went straight over the top for Marvin Ori. So it is a Tongan line-out now inside of the Springboks 22. Mapipi first try, says Brian there. Also, Nate said earlier on about donating every time that the Tongans score, and at the moment they've got a very good opportunity to be able to do so. Thrown in nicely from Paula Nyaumu. Sione Havili Talatui offloads it to Pulu. Now Peter Aki, tackled by Handré Pollard. 1 from 1 so far since his return. Ben Tame Funa, the big man driving at the line. Now Pulu, it looks like there was a bit of off-the-ball stuff happening. It's going to be the advantage and the penalty to the Tongans for offside. That is against Andre Esterhazen. Okay, there, someone should have called themselves the Rhinos or something like that, more intimidating. Says Trajan, I think the Rhinos are the Rhinos the South African Rugby League team? Does anyone know the name of the South African League team? I think they're actually playing a game in the near future as well, fun fact. Up against one of the other African sides. Got the box, says Aiden. Nice bit of work there from the Tongans, trying to go for the set piece early on. Here we go, says Rudy. And also try coming up, says Blues Nate, although I have a feeling that Tonga will be taking on the 3 points here rather than going for the corner, which is a little bit of a shame, but it's a very easy 3-pointer anyway. Straight out in front of the post, should be no issues whatsoever, and go the box, Pollard is back, says Gibson. And yeah, so far has managed to make the 1 tackle for Handré Pollard, but this will be Willie Havili lining up the kick for Tonga now. 10 metres. Should be a nice, easy touch, and if there was anything to do with would the Tongans be leading at any stage throughout this match, the answer would be yes. The Springboks still plenty of time, of course. That kick has gone over from Willie Havili. 3 points to 0 now in favour of Tonga. So why no match, says Teresa. It is down to the copyright system. So pretty much if we show any match footage or audio, we end up getting copyright struck. And then from there, we're banned from streaming for 3 months, as well as I think you're not allowed to upload videos for a few weeks as well. So sadly, due to the licensing, because we haven't been able to pay the few $1 million that the licensing costs, it means that we aren't able to show the game. But now it's going to be Jasper Visa from the halfway line for the Springboks. The kick was partially charged down when Tonga booted it inside of their 22. Going to be an advantage now for not rolling away in favour of the Springboks. Eben Etzebeth cross to Pollard. Flat pass to Vili LaRue. Does the skip out to Makazole Mapimpi. I mentioned in that game up against Romania, that man hardly passed. I don't see this game being any different. Reinach going off to Vili LaRue, sold the dummy, almost pierced through the gap, back across to Reinach. Pollard sling and pass straight to Dion Fori, who's hit hard by Fekatoa, and they'll go back for the penalty now. We have got there, South Africa, says Lebsa, and go the box, says Roseanne. And also, we have got the up the Rhino, says Trajan. And there. And now Pollard kicking for the corner. That is what we expected from the Springboks. Yeah, we didn't think that they'd go for too many 3-pointers. But it was Marvin Ori who got the initial charge down. They got the ball back to the Springboks. Notice my name. I have seen it. I just saw that you had swearing before, so that's why I didn't read out your comment. South Africa says Uminami, and also go the box says Bernard now Dion Fori, his first line-out throw and a starting kit for the Springboks of 2023. Straight into Marvin Ori, that should be an advantage to the South Africans for Tonga closing underneath. Now they have called it. Advantage to South Africa. Reinach, Pollard now. In fact, it was Andre Esterhuizen with the loose pass to Kane and Moody. And they will go back again for another penalty. Box made, or Ireland made the box weak. Says Dom now. Quick tap taken by Cobus Reinach, and that will be the first try of the contest, ladies and gentlemen. The box scoring. And Cobus Reinach. Someone did predict him to be the first try scorer. We will quickly type that in. Try scorers. And Reinach. In 4 minutes, he's done it again, scoring twice in a row as the first try scorer for the Springboks in their last 2 games that he's played in. And also, you can do it, Tokyo's. And nice. Says, okay, and come on the box, says Cheryl. So they did go back. Reinach noticed the fact that the Tongan defence was looking the wrong way, and that allowed him to run over the try line, get the try, and the Springboks start this one off with a bang. Now, Andre Pollard, not the easiest kick for a first kick of the day, but Andre Pollard, we know how accurate he normally is. A lot of people are looking at this first kick as a massive decider. Pollard, first kick from the touch line, just sneaks it in the right-hand post, and that'll make the score now 7 points to 3. Go Bok, they're stronger, says Meme. And also go Pollard, says Berenice, and come on Bok. The dove of peace needs to fly away, says Lennon. Go Pollard, says Gibson. And now that's why you don't sleep on the Tongans, says it was there from Ian Foster. But yeah, Tonga, they were just looking the other way. They were getting ready to set up for the line out, whereas Reinach saw that and went, yep, I'll go down the short side. You haven't got anyone there. And now the Springboks lead 7 points to 3 in this game, ladies and gentlemen. Now, yes, Professor taking it inside of the 22. Tackled hard by Sam Lausey. Takes him just outside of the 22-metre line, which means they won't be allowed to kick this one out on the floor, although Luke Pearce has said inside, so I think Reinach is actually allowed to put this one in touch, but does look like he said it was inside. Tonga asked for it to go back, but I think he's very lucky that they did say that was inside of the 22, but it is going to be a Tongan line out from just outside of the 40-metre line. Will Pollard kick it? He certainly did. And where can I watch the game live? Says Nicole, depending on whereabouts you are in the world, SABC2 seems to be the option that quite a few people are using. Tonga go to the front of their line out, straight to Sage Frey, Fisi Ahoy, now Peter Aki of those Rata Malakai Fekitoa. Of course, he has played up against the Springboks before, but not in a Tongan kit. Instead, for the ABs, Finney Anisi finds the offload away on the short side to Samisi Paya. Tonga doing well to keep this ball alive. 7 minutes into the game, Ben Tame Funa has made meters each time that he has touched the ball early on. William Harvelli sold the dummy. Panic, though. He has been tackled by Dion Fori for the line out, or look for the turnover and the breakdown. Not able to get it there. Dwayne Vermeulen off his feet. Does have to pull out. Now, Augustine Pulu finds the passing option to Sage Frey Fisiohoi. There's a good phase play from Tonga, moving up to 7, but the Springboks defence is not budging. Now, Augustine Pulu, I think, was asking for a penalty. The referee says no. Samisi Paya, ball stripped from him by Cobus Reinach. Now Makazole Mapimpi, it's kicked in a touch. I think Makazole Mapimpi may have been foot tripped there, so they may have to go back, have a quick little look at that, and the penalty does go the way of the Springboks, I believe. Okay, Sage Fred Fisi-Ahoy going over to Luke Pearce. In fact, no, it's going to be a knock-on against Cobus Reinach. And also we have got there South Africa. That was close. Says Rudy. And also, are they winning? They are indeed. 7 points to 3 at the moment. The Springboks are ahead after the first 8 minutes. Nuno said, how's it, bro? Been a while. They're going to be back. Yeah, I hope you are keeping well. They are just showing that ball being ripped out by Cobus Reinach. So I would have thought, I guess it must have travelled for Tonga. They have got a 70 kg weight advantage at scrum time. And I mentioned about why this is one of the more intriguing battles that will be taking place on the park because of that extra weight that they do possess. Might help them get that few little extra shoves on up against a Springbok side that use technique rather than size. And to be fair, like 800 and I think it was 890 or something for the Springboks. Like that's still big for a 4-back, but Tonga are up in the 900s for their scrum. Finney and Nisi's cut out past to Peraki. Salisi Piatau fires it out wide to Anzelo. Tuatavuki gets back up to his feet after being tackled by Grant Williams. Kane Moody tried to hold him up. And over the ball, Jesper Visa gives away the advantage. That was a bit dumb because there was already the man in the breakdown. And Kane Moody, Jesper Visa was going for a little bit of a tickle over the top. The worst thing is it goes against Kane Moody for not rolling away, even though it was because Jesper Visa was trying to steal that ball. And also go to the box, says Thembi. And now Tonga, they look like they might be considering kicking for the 3, are they? No, surely you go for the corner. Yes, they are. And they've decided that is the tactic that they need to use to be aggressive. Earlier on in this game, Tonga looked good. And let's go, Amish 36K, let's go. Says Blues Nate. Anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 36,500. That is our goal by the end of the live stream. We are currently around that 400 away, but we will get there. I have faith that we will be able to. So anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But now Tonga have got themselves this line out, around 5 meters out from the South African line. Paula Nyaumu throwing it to the front there. Ben Tamefuna, big shot coming in on him by Oxnishe. Around the side, Sam Lausi tackled by Koch as well as Marvin Ori. Now again, it's going to be the big man in number 6, Tangi Noah Halafanua. Getting very close to the try line now for the Tongans round the side of the breakdown, tackled by Jasper Visa, Sajfred Fisiahoy. Thought about taking it on, but instead leaves it for Augustine Puller. Rush defence. I don't think there were many arms used in that one by Dwayne Vermeulen, and I think the ball has popped out because of it. Now the Springboks take that one back. They are inside of their own in-goal area currently, so we'll be looking to put this kick in behind Kobus Reinach. Hang on, it almost got stolen back. They decided to try and run it out, and from there they've been driven down inside of the in-goal area, and it will now be a 5-metre scrum for Tonga. Give it a big bend, says Obi. And that's Butterfly Feelings, and this game is available on SABC Sports. And also Go Bocker. Yep, they're going to say no arms tackle from Dwayne Vermeulen, penalty only. Tell you what, we've done well to call that one though, haven't we? Referees and whatnot have only just seen it, but at the time, Dwayne Vermeulen's tackle did feel like he led with the shoulder, and that is why it's going to be the penalty. But the Tongans still pick the scrum. And Pollard says Carney there, and also the Bok says Kelsey. Why am I nervous? Says, okay, well, Tonga are just out from the Springboks line. Of course, their defence here is going to be tested, and Boks need to keep from getting penalised, being over exuberant. Keep up to the rules. And also Damien Valimza says, Michael, he is not playing in this game, missing out on selection. They are just showing the replay here. They need to go a couple more. There it is. Yeah, Dwayne Vermeulen just turning the shoulder into the knees of the Tongan player. Now 5 metres out from the line, a chance for a Tongan set piece. They'll look to try and push the Springboks back here with that 70 kg advantage. Whether or not they're able to do so, though, is a different story. Ball's fed in by Augustine Pulu. Has come out the back quite nicely. Now Paya goes off short. Malakai Fekatoa gets within a few metres. Pulu again going to the right-hand side. Sam Lausi driven backwards by Etzebeth and Visa. Both saying you are not getting any closer to our line. Sage Frey Fisiahoy tackled by his opposite number Neshe. Another counter ruck there from Sia Kalisi. Pulu now going off again to Fafita. We have got a super sticker as well from Marina. Thank you very much. Hugely appreciated for that donation. Now Ben Tamefuna 5 metres out from the try line. Going to the left for Pulu here. Willie Arvili skip past to Peter Aki. Great tackle made. Low from Kane and Moody. Another advantage though against the Springboks. Now the Tongans 2 metres out. Sam Lausi consider going again. And he won't be able to. Visa loses his footing in the breakdown. 8 phases back to back to back here for the Tongans. 13 offside. Kane and Moody, the man who was penalised. Now cross kick attempted by Pulu. Should be safe. Oh, Philly LaRue's dropped it, but it's gone dead anyway. But he made a massive error there. It almost ended up with Finney Anisi lurking in the background to be able to get that one. Looks like Ben Tamefuna, though, might have some sort of injury here. We have got the You Are Amazing one from Marina as well. I have just seen that. So, yeah, thank you very much for that donation. If it was a fight, Tonga 15 versus the Dutch 15, who you got? I got the Tongans. Yeah, I mean, Tonga normally would win a majority of fights. Well, up against the Boks, I feel like that would be a very intriguing one. See how it went. And we have got there the Springboks, says Hayden, also Saxon Style Australia. And where can we see the live stream? So on the Rugby World Cup website, it will have a list of your options depending on whereabouts you are in the world. So for you guys in South Africa, it is on SABC. Seems to be the best bet. And also, Brother Broncos just sold leading 24 points to 8. Okay, they've said there's no foul play from that one, so they will go back for the original offside advantage against Kane and Moody. Currently already a drinks break taking place. That is due to the injury of Ben Tamefuna, but he is back up to his feet. Right, I think that Tonga may back their tap and go here, or they may go to the scrum and, 5 metres out, no, line out. Line out's your best option, I would think. Luke Pearce just asking whether or not they are ready. What have they decided here? Willie Arveli's looking for the ball. They are going to kick this one into touch, ladies and gentlemen, rather than going for that quick tap or scrum. Or are they? Yep, they are. Okay, I thought for a second he was going to tap it. Why don't they call penalty for the head clash? Says the New Age. And also go to the box, says Marika. And I think that might have been the one that they were checking and then they said it was all good. Are they all bunches or branches? And gosh, I can't believe it's been 13 minutes. Feels like 80. Says Ian Foster. It's been a highly intense game of rugby so far between these two teams. Now 14 minutes in, nicely taken by Sam Lausi after Ben Tamefuna. Close to the touchline and he's been driven out. Great defence from the Springboks. It was a bit of a set play there from Tonga offloading it. Tamefuna's trying to say he didn't have that ball. Now Reinach passes it straight into Pulu's hands saying, I wanted to go quickly, ref. But it is now going to be the line-out throw for the South Africans. Let's go bike, says Denver. Or let's go box, sorry, rather than bike. I really appreciate your commentary, says G Brown. Thank you very much, mate. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are here for every game of this Rugby World Cup. Eben Etzebeth taken down 5 metres out from their own line here. Now Visa, Springboks territory-wise, have been inside of their own half more than they've been inside of the Tongans. But the difference is the try. Reinach looking for the touch line. That one does go out. And now 22 metres from the line. It is now going to be a Tongan line out once again. Did YouTube restrict you or Rugby Union? Says Fire 2. So it is because of, I guess you're talking about the copyright side of things. So if we were to get one of those, it is based on, it would have been something to do with World Rugby. YouTube just have to take it down because it's not connected, or they could get sued otherwise. Where are you live streaming? Says Riffle V. I am watching it on Sky Sport here in New Zealand. It's not on SABC2. It seems to be split, doesn't it? Because that happened last week as well. Half of the people could actually watch the game on SABC and the other half couldn't. So it seems weird that only half can. So I think it depends if you've already got maybe a subscription for something to do with SABC perhaps. Hello, says Leanne. And then now Lausi, driven backwards by the Springboks defence, 30 metres out the line. Pulu goes across to William Havili. Now Salisi Pelitao. Passes out wide to Paula Umu. Now that was a risky choice and it has not paid off. He's passed it into Reinach though, so it should be a quick line-out throw available for Tonga if they want it. Ball comes off green, the TMO getting involved, and it is now going to be a Tongan line-out. Ladies and gentlemen, SABC Plus is showing it. Okay, so SABC, and now Jeffrey has said it's on SABC too. So yeah, it seems to be a very even split of people who can and can't watch the game. For those ones, we see Faf de Klerk looking on alongside Chisel and Colby, two backup kickers that they could have, but with Pollard already sitting 1 from 1, I think that they'll be happy enough with having him back. Sonia Zeko the Bok and Tonga are full on attack mode. How long can they keep it up? Well, that's the thing. It is definitely going to be a fast-paced game between these two teams. But Tonga, the longer they have the ball in hand, the better, because that's the less time that, Andre Pollard might be concussed. Or is he might have just had his foot stuck underneath. No, he's all right. Now out wide, Finney Anisi charging towards the try line. Only 5 metres out now from the line. Here comes the big man, Samisi Paya. And Tonga looking dangerous throughout the first 17 minutes of this game. Back across there, it is Augustine Pulu. Dwayne Vermeulen tries to hold up the man at number 7. They're trying to get the ball out underneath and the penalty goes the way of South Africa. The reason they've said that is because Luke Pearce is saying that Tonga's trying to milk it. We had one warning about pushing the ball into the player earlier on. Okay, so Luke Pearce has given a penalty against Tonga for trying to buy a penalty by trapping the player or trapping the ball under Dwayne Vermeulen. That is one of the first times I think we've seen that given as a penalty. And also, hello again, Hamish, says James Livingston. Welcome in, mate. But it was a great run. But yeah, Handré Pollard, I thought he was rocked for a second there, but I think he just ended up getting stuck underneath the breakdown. So rather than him being able to spring back up to his feet, he kind of wobbled and then went down. Marty Libok, they are showing him now. He will be coming off the bench later on in this game as the number 22. Now Dion Fourie, 40 metres out from their own line. Thrown in, nicely taken by Dwayne Vermeulen. It's not too often you see him lifted up for that line-out option, but in this game, they have decided to use him there. Rolling forward now, Dion Fourie. Kobus Reinach looking for that next passing option. Looks like Pollard is dropping just a little bit deeper to be able to be a Pollard box kick option, or sorry, a up and under option, but instead they give it off to Andre Estes, and now back to Pollard, who does go for the up and under this time. Chased hard by Grant Williams, nicely taken by Anzelo. Tuatavuki, driving shot on him by Villy LaRue. Ball popped out the side. I thought there was almost a knock on. In fact, Moody has come up with it for the Springboks. Now Ori goes off to the right-hand side. Villy LaRue off to Vermeulen. Taken down again by Augustine Pulu. Good protecting of the ball for Williams, keeping his body nice and low here. Now new advantage for the Springboks. Pollard, it's hit Werner Koch, or sorry, not Werner, it is instead Vincent Koch through the gap. Kanan Moody scores. That is the Joe Marler special. Smash it with your forehead and get the try assist. Vincent Koch, nicely done. Okay, they do want to check it just in case. But if it's travelled forward off his head, it's okay, isn't it? At the moment, no knock on is the call, but this might be the try in the 19th minute for the Springboks here. Potential knock on comes off the, it might have been the top of the shoulder they've just said. That is the difference between that one, between what's happened here and Joe Marler's. Joe Marler's hit him square in the Swede, so the try will stand, ladies and gentlemen, they have said. And Handré Pollard now straight out in front of the post to line up this kick. Oh, seriously, are you jerking my bacon? Says Ian Poster. I certainly hope not. And also goes South Africa, says Alana. And that kick has gone over. 14 points to 3 now in favour of the South Africans. And that just shows, I guess, the difference in some regards. Tonga have been on attack for the past maybe 10 minutes or so. Springboks have had 2 chances inside of the Tongan 22, both times turning it into points. Let's go South Africans, says Nayati. And also we have got their mate. I was here for ABs versus Italy. For your service, you get a sub, says Hayden there. But anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 35, or in fact 36,500 subscribers. So if you do want to help us out, it is greatly appreciated. Willie Harvili kicks that one up high, down towards the 22. Nicely taken by Marvin Audrey this time. And the Springboks back in position. Looks like Reinach looking to roll this one back for the possible box kick. And score not reflecting the game. Yeah, if you looked at the territory and stats, that regard, has that gone out on the full from Reinach? It certainly has. They will go right back to where he kicked it from. But yeah, so far throughout this game, are they going to give us some stats? 78% territory for the Tongans, 64% possession throughout this game. But the scoreboard says otherwise. 14 points to 3 in favour of the Springboks. And try with a 10 out of 10, says Andre. I need to score that bonus point to ensure against the Scots and the Island collision. Exactly right. Springboks walk away with the 4 or more tries in this game. It helps them get that little bit closer to their Rugby World Cup quarterfinals. The ball sits up for William Havili after a successful line-out from the Tongans. Sam Lausi having to play halfback. They look like Jesper Wiese was a little bit up in front of the arm of Luke Pearce, but it's going to be play on just for now. Pollard trying to get out of that breakdown as quickly as he can. Malakai Fekitoa running at the line. We have got a donation from Stan as well. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. Now, Willie Harvili, little chipper behind, looking for open space. Picked up by Villy LaRue cleanly. Finds the offload to Makazole Mapimpi. He's got 4 men on his outside. Decides to run it. And now almost gets held up. And looks like it was almost a turnover for Tonga in the breakdown. But it stays on the side of the South Africans here. We've got at least the 1% of watchers like. Let's support this by hitting the like, says Mr. TP. Yeah, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button. Also, hit that subscribe button. Along the way, we are live for every game of the Rugby World Cup. Kicked high from Handré Pollard down towards the halfway line. Nicely cleaned up by William Havili. At the back, runs into his teammate. Could have been called as obstruction, and it is. Accidental obstruction, penalty, or in fact scrum feed goes the way of the South Africans. Can we watch the match? Says Ethan, your best bet to be able to watch it is to go on the World Rugby website or the Rugby World Cup website. The best options, depending on where you are in the world, could be SABC, Sky Sport if you're in New Zealand, Stan Sport, I think, have it. If you are in Australia, I could be wrong with that statement though. Yeah, plenty of options around to be able to watch these games. Go South Africa. And great commentating area says, Alta, thank you very much. And Fikatoa, tackle break 0. Imagine if they had Laumape, says it was Ian Foster. And now the scrum feed for the South Africans still inside of the Tongan half. And every time that they've been in there so far, they have been able to score themselves the try. Could have been 10-0. Nice to see Pollard back, says Lowry. And also I'm in South Africa, says Ethan. And also your ticket tape is a good idea, says Hillary, for the one down the bottom with the 2 try scorers. So far, just the 2. And at this stage of the Romania game, I should mention the Springboks had got themselves the bonus point. But it's a bit more of a grind in this contest. Andre Pollard, he is sweating buckets. At number 10, it is hot out there, about 24 degrees, I believe it was. And also, go the Bok 100%, says Vinolia. And also, I'm back, guys, says Master, 4.6k watching, only 391 likes. Come on, folks, let's get it done. Yeah, let's see whether or not we can get to 500 likes by halftime in this game. Also, we are only 26 away from that 36,200. So if you do want to help us out, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I know we're not even there yet, but I have a good feeling about the second half, says Sino. Now their penalty advantage again, going the way of the Springboks. Grant Williams, good hands from him to hang on to that one. Now 40 metres out from the try line. Tackled low by, I believe it was Malakai Fikitoa. Yes, Professor. It's going to be a lot of bruised bodies for these two sides. The good news, there was a little kick in behind from Pollard. It is loose and it's picked up there by Tonga. Also was a partial knock on, I believe, from the Springboks. Tuatavuki being shut down by Ibn Itzebeth. Moving up to the 22-metre line. Very nicely done by Tonga. Bit of composure there not to just try and boot the ball away at the first opportunity. Good clearing kick as well, down to 40 metres out. And go to the Bok commentary site, says Luis. And also we have got there, Libok must come on at 50 minutes, says Jody Cook. Yeah, they've got to make that decision of when do they bring on Libok. And also alongside that, when do we see Pollard move to 12? If he does, I don't believe they will though. I feel like Pollard 10 is going to be the option that the Springboks go with from now on. The beard and mustache makes no difference. The voice, contest and comments are very professional. Thank you very much. And Lady Lynn, your cheerleader, is on top of the game, Bok. And also keep it up, Bok, says Lena. And you'll get 500 likes, so much done, says Stahl. But now Andre Estes, a big shot on him by, it was Halafanua. And I think they're going back for the original knock-on, or I think it was actually, in the line-out. Contact in the air is what they've gone with. And also a new member on the channel, Koketso, thank you very much. But in that membership button, mate, now you have access to exclusive emojis. Travix, it said Tonga is trash. This is, you've got to remember though, in the ranking side of things, this is number 3 ranked South Africa versus number 15 ranked Tonga. They should beat them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those games that Tonga, to their credit, they've been in this game at times. I feel like that is a good thing for South Africa. Rather than putting them down, they should be saying, yep, at least they're challenging us so that we get better as we move towards the quarterfinals. We get put under that pressure because we want to keep on getting to the peak of our performance as we get there. I pick up the box, says Robert. Also, we have got their exclusive emojis. Says Krampus there now, rolling ball for the Springboks, still going. Looks like they're about 2 metres out, and that's going to be dragged down nicely by Tonga. That ball is not available, and the scrum feed will go the way of Tonga 5 metres out from their try line. Brilliant bit of defence there. I think it was Sam Lausi who got in there early, got their hands on the ball alongside. I think that's actually Finney Anisi as well, the man who was a long way off his wing. We have got there in the chat, is Pollard back? Yeah, he is. He has been playing throughout this game, has got 2 kicks from 2 over at this stage. We have got there Lionel Ref Blast in South Africa, says Lionel. And also Pollard is back, says Brian. He certainly is. And also go Tonga, says David. And Tonga will challenge all right. They are South Sea Islanders, says Kerno Wick. And I see 4% of people say Tonga will win this match. And they must have been spoken their socks. Tonga will never win this game against the Springboks, says Ashley. That is what was said in 2015's World Cup between Japan and South Africa. The upsets can happen. the end of the day, this is a game of rugby. 80 minutes can change it. South Africa could end up with 2 red cards. And then from there, that completely changes the outlook. Yes, it's unlikely, but no result is impossible in a game of rugby. And I think that's so important to remember that when we see one-sided affairs, it's slightly unfortunate for those smaller sides, but as long as they put in a good showing, that is the main thing that they do care about. Excellent commentary, Eleanor from South Africa, says Eleanor there. Now, that's gone off the side of the boot for Tonga. That's going to be about a 7-metre line out as William Harvelli has almost hit that one with his heel. That's how off the side it was. And good defending, says Brian. And yes, I know anything can happen. We all know Tonga won't win. But you've just said anything can happen, referring to the fact that Tonga, there's a little tiny probability chance that they could. But we all know Tonga won't win, says Ashley afterwards. I absolutely love your commentary and you're entertaining. Awesome that you can pronounce the Bok name properly. Much love from Rona there. Thank you very much, mate. Another rolling maul chance here for the Springboks. Another advantage. I think that was going in through the side against Tonga. Upsets can happen on calling Scotland beat Ireland next weekend. Now Pollard has a bit of a run himself. I think he's heard what people were saying about Marnie LeBoc's attacking style when he wants to match it now. Vili LaRue goes off to Makazole Mapimpi. Got tackled once more. Now off to the right-hand side here. Kobus Reinach. Looks like Makazole Mapimpi is down. Would it have happened if he had passed the ball? Probably not. Now Reinach. Ball goes out the back again to Oxnashire. And they will go back for the original penalty. Love, thanks, bro. Love your commentary. And I come on, try and be positive about South Africa, says Sue in there. And also, we all know right now Tonga is kind of a goner. We know that anything can happen in these remaining 80 minutes. Says Darius there. Yeah, the Springboks, in this game, they've done extremely well to be able to handle that early Tongan pressure. There are a lot of sides that would have conceded early when Tonga were throwing absolutely everything at them just out from the line. They've just said that there's a bit of contact on 14 green, so that is Grant Williams. Wait, has he been hit or has he done the hitting? He looks like he's fine. Oh no, it's on 11, that's why. Okay, Makazole Mapimpi looked like there was a little bit of head-on-head contact between Mapimpi and Augustine Pulu. He was dipping. Oh, see, this is where it's going to be interesting because the thing is, the Tongan player has made that tackle, but he has been dropping towards his knee. Mapimpi's crouching. I think Luke Pearce is saying that as well. Because the player was falling to his knees, they don't know whether or not it's enough to give it as a yellow card. It's high danger. It sounds like it is going to be a yellow card here for Augustine Pulu. Oh no, we're not on high danger. Okay, Luke Pearce said that's not enough for a yellow card. I think a lot of people are in agreement there. It was light contact on Makazole Mapimpi, and also Augustine Pulu, because he was ducking down, saved him from getting that yellow card there. My blood is green, go the Bok. Love this commentator, liked and subscribed. Says, JD, thank you very much. Hugely appreciate it. Anyone else who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are currently on our road to 36,500 subscribers. Looks like Makazole Mapimpi is actually going to make his way off the field for an HIA. I think Augustine Pulu's nose must be made of steel because it seemed like there wasn't a huge amount of contact between the two. Good no card. And also some, whereabouts did that go? Some BS. They don't call two-head contact when Tonga was marching. Says the new age. This is my time interacting on the live. On YouTube, I absolutely love it because you're also interacting with the people for the live. Thank you for replying back to us. Says, Ashley, no worries at all. I always try my best to read as many comments as I can. Of course, sometimes the chat is going extremely quickly. So, makes it tricky, but I always try and get the most chat read out as possible alongside the commentary. Now rolling maul for the Springboks after successfully being thrown in by Dion Fourie. Another penalty advantage there from Tonga going in through the side of the rolling maul. That is going to hurt them once more. They could end up getting themselves yet again, maybe a yellow card. We did see it quite a bit throughout the last game and the game prior. The cards against the Tongan side. Andre Esterhuizen's knocked that ball on. They'll go back for another penalty though. Great commentary as always, Hamish. Defo made the World Cup speech. Mate says Silver. And also, no yellow card for that milking penalty. Reinach wanted to take the quick tap and go again, but he's been told, no, you weren't on the mark. Mapimpi tried to milk a card. Says Peter Walden, thanks, I have to go to bed. But well done. Appreciate your commentary, says Sue. Thank you very much. And also go Bok. Says Aslam down Brian Bana coming in at halftime. A great commentary, keep it up. Says Vavyesh. And there as well, but it looks like the Springboks having a bit of a huddle, or in fact, it's the Tongans having the huddle here. Where's Tonga situated? They are in the Pacific Islands, or a part of Oceania, if you're looking at the continent. And Pollard should still play this match and use it as a warm-up for the quarters, says Gibson. So he has played at number 10 throughout the first 30 minutes of this game. Now just kicking that ball into touch. It will be once again 5 metres out from the line. Another line-out chance. How's Pollard doing, says Camilla? He hasn't really done anything wrong, if I'm being honest. Like, he hasn't really made any mistakes. He's had a couple decent passes as well. So, like, he's done everything he's needed to. He probably hasn't been the stand-up player of that backline. I would say that that's probably either gone to Kobus Reinach for that little bit of sniping that he's done around the side of the breakdown, or some people would say probably instead with Kane and Moody. But, yeah, he's been very solid. He hasn't done anything wrong, which is exactly what they want. They take on possession thus far. It was in favour of the Tongans early on, but now the Springboks in this last 10 minutes, I believe, have brought it back, and now they're rolling more with 8 Springbok forwards. They're over the line, collapsing there. I think it's Dwayne Vermeulen. No, it's Dion Foree, who pops up with his head with a massive smile on it. He scores his first try as hooker throughout 2023. There we go, Dion, no. Foree, not Dory. There we go. Scores it. And the 31st minute of the game now, Dion Foree getting his try scoring underway for the Rugby World Cup 2023. And Barbados is a cricket country, says, was master there. And also, yes, and Box says Gibson, and yes, says Ashleen, the third try dude, says Raku Mako. It certainly is. Dion Foree had a lot of support with him, whether that was Vincent Koch in front of him or the men behind help him push him over the gain line. We have got there Bocha says Fusi Tupa, and also we have got Dion Foree performs better with cotton wool up his nose. True story. He's a tough man. I always say it in the URC. I have never seen a man come off the field with his nose sideways, bleeding, busted eye, busted lip, smiling, going, that was fun, wasn't it? Then that is pretty much a summary of what Dion Foree is like on the rugby field. He's going to go out there, he's going to throw his body on the line. If you told him to be able to win a game, you got to run straight at a brick wall, he'd consider it. And he just pretty much does it each and every week when he makes his way out onto the field. My blood is green, go the Bok, says Bavyesh. And also no Pollard. I will be 15-3, says Laurie. Yeah, that kick has gone over from Hondre Pollard. And Black Label is Gemma's Drink Tafel, Namibian Boya. That's the spirit. And also we have got there, do you think we could see Ireland, South Africa semi-final? Not in the semis, but we can see it as the final. Those two sides could go head-to-head. Best World Cup commentary worldwide, says Ashley. Thank you very much. Now kicking it high. Just misses. Kane and Moody's hands are slapped back by Tonga on the halfway line. William Arveli passes it straight into touch. And it's going to be the line out now for the South Africans. James said, how many people on your team? Keep going as you do. You must have an awesome people behind you. It is actually just me. To be honest, like the last time we had one of the other Kiwi lads on the channel was probably about 2 or 3 months ago. But other than that, every video you see edited, uploaded, every live stream, every bit that goes up on the channel is just myself. Which is why I get very little sleep throughout the weekends, mainly because we've spent hours and hours up. I think before last night, we had 10 hours across 3 nights so that we could get everything prepared for all of these live streams. Don't worry, South Africa aren't getting to the final, says Fly on the Wall. Actually, still doubting Pollard, says Albert. I mean, we haven't seen that attacking running that we see from Mani Libok as of yet, but we've seen some very consistent kicking. And I feel like the Springboks, of course, you want to take every point that they can get, so they'll be relatively happy with what Pollard has done early on in this game. We have got there, feels like Box haven't gone into second gear yet, says Cited. I wonder what the other lads, or who the other lads were. Good job, though. And also we have there, Hamish does a tremendous job. I bet he'll miss this, says Blues Nate. It's nice to see Pollard not waiting for the last 4 seconds on the stop clock, unlike Mani, says Rishan. And whereas George, says Connor, I believe he's working today. He's shifting some bales out in a paddock. I used to have a Super Brew for us subscribers, says Jody. I'll be honest, I actually have no idea how to do Super Brew. Like, I'm terrible at predictions, but I also don't know how to set it up. But if I did know, that could be quite a good idea for the future, perhaps. And Box only have 1 gear. A slow kick, says Krampus. And now big push there from the Box. But Tonga still managed to get that ball out the back of their scrum. Peter Aki with the flat pass to Malakai Fekitoe. Diving on that one was Samisi Paya to keep it alive here for Tonga. Now, Almost slapped down by Willie LaRue. Forward pass from Andre Esterhuizen, and it's actually going to be a penalty for offside in favour of Tonga once more. We have got there, are you standing in the way? Says Ashton, and also we have got there, you can see from the comments that there are plenty of people listening to your commentary. Hughes, thank you. Says Sue. Willie LaRue getting a bit fired up. Fake AF, says Ashton. Yeah, that's why it's live commentary. It's the radio style commentary, not the actual game. Look, there's no one behind me. They've actually got it set up for football. Love to see you get a co-commentator. Much love from Namibia, says Dimitri. And also we have got there, Hamish, can I bring you some Energade? I would take some Energade, although I have only been drinking water throughout this weekend. Luckily, I still have a voice, though, because it's getting close to disappearing. And the box, I believe the box can pull off back-to-back World Cup. There's Edward Smith, but now Tonga have got themselves the 10-metre line out. 4 minutes still remaining. In fact, it's closer to 5 metres out from the line here. Tonga are going to score before the half-time break. I'm loving your commentary, says John Austin-Burn. Now only 5 metres. I should mention there's only been one side so far throughout this Rugby World Cup to score a try against the Springboks. That was Ireland, the world number 1. Now Tonga looking to do it as well, the world number 15. Side of the breakdown. Once again, they get just that little bit closer, but Dion Forey, the jackler, has he got the ball? No, he's been told to let it go. He's still in there, though. Dion Forey, he's committed. Now Pulu, deciding what way to go, leaves it for the big forwards. Brilliant defence from Dwayne Vermeulen, just short of the try line. Still here for Tonga. Going off to Ben Tamefuna. He's our man to stop, and he's gone over. Scored the try for Tonga. How do you stop a cannonball from getting over a try line? We will go like this. Tonga try scorers. And we will add Ben Tamefuna to that list. But massive, massive run from the big man. A skipper's effort. He was down earlier on with an injury. Now gets the first try of the match for the Tongans. You should play Rugby Challenge 4 more. We're hoping to do a little bit more of it. And also when the new rugby game comes out later on in the early stages of the year. But nice work initially from Tonga. It's the ill discipline that did cost the Springboks there. I believe it was Andre Esterhuizen this time who was offside initially. And then Tonga says Mali, and also Tonga is not allowed to score, says Gerhard. Well, they almost didn't. Dwayne Vermeulen put in a massive effort to stop them from getting over the try line. But then Ben Tamefuna round the side of the breakdown scores the right Etzebeth for Tankman. And Ozzy, you're the best commentator, says Leonard, thank you very much. I don't think I've seen Eben Etzebeth in the last 20 or so minutes. Is that just me? Has anyone else been seeing him a lot? Maybe I've just been missing him. Hamish, you deserve a bok tie. I'd go with your suit, says Hillary. Although the only thing with a bok tie is if it's green, it will make me invisible. It's raining outside. That's a bit unfortunate. That kick is missed from Willie Harvili. Now the score 21 points to 8 in favour of the South Africans. Do not let Tonga score again, says Gerhard. Busted ice skewered nose blood. South Africans have a high pain threshold. We are determined no matter what. Yeah, and I mean, Dion Forey just epitomises that when he makes his way out onto the field. Always a pleasure to watch him play. I'm looking forward to seeing him for the Stormers this year in the URC. I guess the big question mark there is whether or not he is going to be a hooker option or whether he is going to be instead in the loose forward trio. I believe loose forward trio is where they'll find him. How can we see Eben? Says Alton, if you are watching the game. And we have got there Blues. Nate has put the super sticker. Thank you very much, mate. You did say you were going to donate each time Tonga scored. And they have already got themselves one in that first half. 21 points to 8 as it currently sits. We have got their bigger ribbon with bigger font won't hurt. Says Boy, although the only way for it to go across the bottom, unfortunately, is if it's the small font. Or else then it kind of pops up and you can't have it moving. Sadly, but the 3 try scorers, for anyone who can't see them, Reinach, Moody and Furi, and then Tamefuna scoring the try there for Tonga, although South Africa looking to add one more here by the looks of nice big run from Andre Esterhuizen. Moves 15 metres out from the line now. Kobus Reinach back across to the left. Pollard with the flat pass. Off to Jesse Creel. Of course, he is on the field for Makazole Mapimpi. Did take that head knock just a little bit earlier on in the game. Reinach again goes off to Jasper Visa. Now, Rainak up to Vincent Koch, one of his first carries that he has had. You're a busy one-man team. Good work and much appreciated, says Stephen in there. Now Rainak off to the right. Had space, decides to go himself. Piraki finds his offload up though. To Dion Free. The moment for the Springboks, they are really testing out the ruck speed that they can get away with here. Pretty much every time the ball is down, straight away Rainak is ready to keep on moving it out the back line. Flat run again from Andre Esterhazen. Quite a few metres made for him throughout this first half. Now looking to use it to the left-hand side. Goes off to Eben Etzebeth now. Tackled by Sione Havili Talatui. Offloaded up to Oxnishie. Now Rainak. They have got numbers on this left-hand side. Jesse Creel found the offload, but it went away to Charles Piatel with the interception. Springboks now have given up the ball 10 metres out. Tonga have to just boot this ball into touch. Do they realise the clock? I think they do now. Yes, they do. They boot the ball into touch, and that will be 28 points to 8 at halftime in this game, ladies and gentlemen. A fast-paced fixture between the two. A physical one as well. One of the more physical games of this round. Are we going to win this one together? Says... It was there from random videos. Come on, Bok. I'm out here in the bush. So this commentary is a lifesaver for ghillie suit. Says Mr. H there. Are you going to commentate the URC? We certainly are. We may not end up doing every single game of the URC competition, but I believe every single South African game we are planning on doing, and then also majority of the games involving Ireland, as well as some Scotland and Welsh games as well. We have got there Tonga still... Where'd that go? That went very quick. I was reading a message and it's just shot up like 20 messages upwards. But anyone who hasn't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. At the moment, the goal by halftime was 500 likes. We're sitting on 657, so we got there. In the end, anyone who hasn't already, maybe we aim for 1,000 before the start of the second half. Hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button to the channel as well. We are on the road to 36,500 subscribers. That was the goal for that by the end of the live stream. How long is halftime? Normally around that 10 minutes, but we're going to be looking through at some of the stats to do with this halftime break, as well as the keys in that first half. But looking at the chat, one moment, we will go like that and like that. There we go. We got the stats. Most points in that first half was scored by Andre Pollard with the 6 points. Will you be commentating for the New Zealand-South Africa quarterfinal as well, says Gibson, although it does look like those two sides won't be meeting in the quarters. Instead, it may end up being South Africa versus France and New Zealand versus Ireland. But we are covering every game of the Rugby World Cup on the channel, all 48, even though they are all on pretty much in the middle of the night. Here in New Zealand, we are going to be here for every single match. The most tackles throughout that first half was made by Sione Havili Talatui. So a decent effort from that man, making the 11. Kanan Moody having the most running meters with 29. Most offloads in that first half was from Billy LaRue. And then the most gain line carries. This is a fun one. Ben Tamefuna. Out of every player on the field, he has been the man who's been able to make it over the gain line the most for his side, which is pretty awesome. We have got there, don't think Tonga can keep this up, says Rudy. Yeah, they've probably emptied their gas tank from that first half. And the reason for that is because they knew that they had to match the tempo of the Springboks. The problem that they have now is whether or not they can keep up that tempo for a second 40 minutes without using their bench too early. He was on during the Rugby League as a commentator, says Faitu. And we are actually going to be covering a little bit of the Rugby League games that are taking place in the near future. 2 weeks' time, the likes of Samoa versus New Zealand. I think Australia going to be taking on the Samoans as well, alongside the Cook Islands taking on Papua New Guinea, etc. What's up, Hamish? Let's go. Tonga box out in the pool stage. Says him. So the only way for that to happen is if if South Africa do not score the extra try in the second half. Then from there, it makes it extremely difficult for them to miss out, because the draw, I think Ireland would need to get no bonus points in that next game. Scotland would need to get all their bonus points. Tomorrow, half of South African is not working here. Says a random videos. And also Tonga to tie it drastically in the second half. South Africa to win by 40 plus. Says Colin. And less stress this way commentary, says Lena. And Hamish, which countries will be facing off in the quarters as it stands right now, and what could cause possible upsets. So the way that the quarterfinals can be sitting, I believe the most likely outcomes for the 4 matches will be first game. I don't actually know the order that the games are taking place though, but we will get that information when we get a little bit closer. First match could be Wales versus Argentina or Japan, the winner of that game. Second game, South Africa versus France seems the most likely. New Zealand versus Ireland, also relatively likely, as long as results do go that way. And then the last game, more than likely, will be Fiji versus England. A rematch of a game that happened earlier on in the year, and that was a game that we saw the Fijians cause that massive upset. We've got there, why not working? Says Elena in there, I will be working after we have finished these live streams. We have got there, mate, you must give up your day job as a builder, do commentary professionally or awesome and funny. Says Ronald there. Although the thing is, I always say YouTube is more of our hobby. The way that I make my income is through my job during the week, because I always say any money that we get from this YouTube channel, we put straight back into the YouTube channel, try and make it as good as possible, whether that's through live streaming software, subscription fees, new microphone, green screen, etc. So yeah, I have to work during the week so that I can afford to live. And then from there, we of course do this on the weekends and throughout the week as well. These Pool C and D games are strolling into the quarters undeservedly. No offense, says Sino T. And yeah, currently we've got 3 sides, in fact 4 sides in this Rugby World Cup who are undefeated. Wales, Ireland, England, and France. Those are the 4 teams, but the question mark is whether or not it's going to be one of those 4 that win the Rugby World Cup, or could it be one of these teams over here who have already been beaten that are now looking to get that redemption. I love the time, mate, says Joey Villas. Thank you very much. Thank you, buddy, for this amazing platform. Says Sakili there, and Hamish is a builder commentator, says Harry in there as well. But anyone who is new, like I mentioned, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We will go on with the goal of 1,000 likes by the end of halftime. We are still another 250 or so away. So do hit that subscribe button and like if you haven't already. Great to listen to your commentary, says Chantel. I should put a screen behind your camera so you look directly at the camera, says Richard. I always find that looking straight forward, I seem like I'm like staring into your soul. So I often like looking into the camera like that, I feel like I'll be a little bit too intrusive, you know? And we appreciate your hard work and sleepless nights. Thank you, Hamish. Says Rishan, no worries at all. And also Eben's a psycho. I don't know about AJ. He's an average heavyweight at the moment. Still would crack very hard. Like Eden tackles him. It's over maybe, says Hayden. How's Pollard playing? Pollard hasn't done anything wrong throughout that first half, I think is the best way of describing it. He's done everything he's needed to. He's made the tackles he's had to. He's had the runs that he's needed to. And then alongside that, you know, he's just been very solid. He's got his kicks over as well. He's played 40 minutes. What else have I got for Pollard's stats? He had 2 meters carried after touching the ball 5 times. So, you know, he's just there, I guess, is the best way of describing it. He's made 7 tackles, hasn't missed one. So he's been pretty solid as his number 10. And really appreciating your impartial commentary, says Unky there. A moment, we will go like this and like this as well. So anyone else wondering about more stats from that first half? Possession-wise, it was actually 56% in favour of Tonga. That was due to the early onslaught that they were putting on the Springboks. But during that time, the Tongans unable to get themselves that try. It was up until later, Ben Tamefuna in the 37th, when they were able to get over. In the possession stats, pretty 50-50, in fact 51% in favour of the Tongans. And then looking through at set pieces, here's a fun one. 100% set piece accuracy for the Springboks, 100% set piece accuracy for the Tongans. 17 lineouts won by their respective sides, 5 scrums won by the respective teams as well. We've seen more meters carried by the Springboks with 130 compared to the 91 of Tonga. 6 defenders beaten by the Springboks compared to the 5 of Tonga, but Tonga have had more offloads, and the tackle percentage is actually relatively even. 83% for the Springboks, 82 for Tonga. We have got there, where was Pollard all along? He was injured for the last 9 months, had like a real serious injury. Are you real, says Isaac? No, I'm virtually created. So that's how I stay up for so many hours. Pollard sounds Ukrainian, says Fire 2. And also we have got there, look me in the eye, tell me what you see, says Andre in there as well. And also we have got there, Tonga just missing dangerous backs, says Michael. And also 5 to 10 minutes, says Gerhard. Yeah, it's not too long till the second half does get back underway, ladies and gentlemen. But if you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We did have the goal by getting to 36,500 by the end of the stream. We are currently only 183 away. So we actually have the potential of going even higher than that, ladies and gentlemen. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. Hi, Hamish just popped in. Can give a like. I'm watching in the local, can't hear you, says Ali Wood. And also Pollard is the man, says Brian, and go Tonga, bring in the game, never turn your back on an underdog. It will snap your butt, says a Rose OD. And Bok, together forever, says Jeremy. So looking through at the second half, the subs will, of course, be made at some stage early on for both of these sides. We've already seen Jesse Creel make his way onto the field. That is due to Makazole Mapimpi taking that head knock. And he actually, I believe, is not past his HIA. So what looked like minimal contact with Makazole Mapimpi has actually led to possible concussion. Marco van Staden, the replacement number 16. I have to say, Dion Fori has looked impressive throughout the first 40 minutes. Stephen Kitsoff and Trevor Nakanye will be the front row replacements. Mostert at number 19 and Huacha Smith at number 20, Jaden Hendrickse and Mani Libok. Now the question mark is, will Libok be playing at number 10 while Pollard's on the field, or will Pollard be making way for Mani near the end of this game? For the Tongan, Sam Molly, Kolamatangi, and also Sosifu Apakatoa, the front row, Adam Coleman. He has played up against the Springboks before, but he was wearing an Australian kit when doing so. Vailanu at 20, Takalua at number 21, Pellegrini at 22, and then it will be Afasipo Tamapo at number 23. But currently at this stage in this game, 21 points to 8 in favour of the Springboks. New subscriber who says, Ferne, thank you very much for hitting that subscribe button. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be here for every single game of the Rugby World Cup, including the quarterfinals, the semis, the final, the third place, and next round, which anyone who doesn't already know has got some pretty awesome fixtures. It is going to be New Zealand, Uruguay to start us off. That one probably will be one-sided, if I'm being honest. But France, Italy, if France lose that game, Italy will progress through to the next stage in the quarterfinals, and it would mean that France miss out in their home competition. Wales versus Georgia, England versus Samoa, two sides that have already qualified on this side going up against the heavy underdogs. Ireland versus Scotland, depending on if the Springboks can get themselves one more try here, could be heavily impactful for what happens throughout this group. Japan versus Argentina, that will be a decider for who makes their way through to join Wales as the quarterfinalists from Pool C. From Pool D, and that is actually with England, Tonga, Romania, and then Fiji, Portugal. If Fiji win that game or lose it by less than 7, they will be progressing through to their quarterfinals to take on the English. So there's some big matches just around the corner. We're covering every single one of them on the channel as well. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. We have got there, let's go Bok from Sumita. So I don't drink alcohol. Says it was there from Krampus Go the Box, says Jessica, and also, hey Kiwi lads, did you know Joe Apakatoa played in my first 15? I did not know that, Ian Foster. And also, best wishes to England cricket team for the World Cup, and also where's Fluff? He is rested for this game. I believe he will be back though for the next fixture when they do go head to head up against the Irish, no sorry, not the Irish, the French more than likely. Only a box game will get you 100 likes, says Stull, and thank goodness for Pollard A, says Lena. Yeah, he's sat in 100%. So far for his kicking. Hamish, do you not have a 9-to-5 job? How are you covering all these games this season? I also have my 9-to-5 that I do, although it's not quite 9-to-5 because I do have to adjust my hours, but I also work as a builder during the week and then end up doing the commentary and also the late nights during the week as well. I have a very weird sleep schedule to be able to balance it all out. And best place to listen to the ruggers sounds like Four Ways, says Michael there. And also go Tonga from South Africa, and also you should cover cricket, says Fire 2. We have actually done a bit of cricket in the past, and we might be doing some more in the future. Keep building your channel, Hamish. This is how Rogan started, says Paul Roy. And also things happen when Kwacha is on the field, and if Andre Polo shifts to 12 and Money at 10, what happens to the current centre pairing? I believe it would be that Jesse Creel would be playing 13. Maybe Kane and Moody drops out to that wing, although they might actually leave Jesse Creel out on that left wing for now. But yeah, I'd say that Estes, and he hasn't really done too much bad in this game either. He was offside once, but I think there were about 6 offside penalties against the Springboks throughout that first half. And pronounced Fern. Okay, I will keep that in mind. So well, Pollard actually is playing well under pressure, says Irvin. And also we have their Tonga Ascendant, or Estimi, says Brian. And also we have got there, hang on, that's going very, very quick at the moment. I think I've missed like 30 videos. Or sorry, not 30 videos, 30 messages. A weird sleep schedule, says Mark. Yeah. Like over the last 5 days, I think we've slept for maybe about 20 hours combined, like across the 5 days. And that was with about 9 hours sleep last night. Before that, though, we have been running off about 2 or 3 hours sleep a night so that we could get everything finished for this weekend of rugby. But the second half just about to get back underway, ladies and gentlemen. If you are new to the channel, once again, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Best wishes to Australia Cricket. And also, I love South Africa. Greetings from Poland, says Dai. And it's practice for a Bok, says Penelope. And when it's half over, looks like they are just about to make their way back out onto the field. Yes, Samoa calling for Johnny Faiuli, sorry. Hamish doesn't know him, says Ian. And also, Tonga Lock's doing well. Eben Quiet, says Jimbo. Yeah, I mentioned about it in that first half. I hardly saw Eben Etzebeth. Longest second half ever, says Leon. Yeah, it did seem relatively long between them, and we appreciate you so much, says Eleanor. And you got to sleep, the sleep of the just after this World Cup is over. That's true, although then we're straight into the URC and also a few of the other middle of the night games that are taking place. So we'll sleep at some stage. Are you a Red Bull survivor? I actually don't drink caffeine, which people find very surprising. I just run off water and, I guess, sleep deprivation. What does the penalty count? Says Rudy. Throughout that first half in the penalty count, there were 5 penalties against South Africa, 7 against the Tongans for that first 40 minutes. Your pronunciations are very good for the South African surnames. Second half just about to get underway. South Africans will be kicking off from right to left, and it is Andre Pollard to get them back underway for the second 40. It's kicked down into the deep. Just found your channel. You're pronouncing of South African names. Better says Rachel. Thank you very much. Now charge down there. Tonga's kick from inside of their 22, but it has bounced back to them. And now Nisi on the short side decides to give that one a big old boot downfield. A very good kick from Nisi. Now South Africa 40 metres out from their own line. We have got there this half-time as long, said Lena, although luckily now, second half, that was even with the charge down initially. Who do you think is going to win? I did actually predict at the start of this game, I said 77 points to 14 in favour of the Springboks, but they're going to have to ramp it up big time in the second half to get to that total. I initially had 67 points to 14, but yeah, they're going to need a few more tries coming in quick succession to be able to get there. How do mum and dad sleep with you staying all night? Chatterboxing, says Ian Foster. I'm very strategically placed. I'm on one side of the house, they are on the other. And I have a lot of doors shut between me and them. And now, Kobus Rainak, ball available at the back. Although he's got his jersey over his head there, he ended up looking like a headless individual for a second. Although now he's back, ready to take on this next breakdown. Goes across to Werner Koch with the pass. Sage Fisia Hoy, the two men who are going head-to-head in the scrums. Now Rainak puts the ball up high once more, waiting for this one to come down as Nisi lines it out. Grant Williams puts in the big shot on him. In fact, it was Kanan Moody. Ball knocked backwards, but Tonga still in position. Now, it looks like they are looking to just slow this down a bit here, Tonga. Get set with a couple of the big forwards. Oh, Eben Etzebeth almost ended up coming right round behind him. He didn't see him coming. Big chop there from Sia Khaleesi. They've said no foul play. The Tongan player jumping into the challenge. Now pass on the outside of Nisi, tackled by Sia Khaleesi, who puts the pressure on him, and he does kick the ball into touch in the process. And nobody says Tonga, like Hamish, I love it, go Bok, says Jane. And also we have got there, I love the box, but they'll have to catch a break to get to 50, says Rachel. And also I'll find with the pronunciation, says Jacobus. And also Sam Eben, says Shadow. We are proud of you for pronouncing the South African name so correctly. Or perfectly, even the G, well, says Darlene. Now, thrown in straight from Dion Fourie. The big question is, of course, when is Marco van Staden going to get that opportunity throughout this game? I think they'll probably bring him on at about 50 minutes or so. Although, saying that, I don't think we've really seen too much go wrong at the moment for Dion Fourie. So perhaps they give him just that little bit more extra time. What was the Checkers code? Says Amore there. And also we have got, as well, Hamish's mum and dad secretly on their phones watching. Says, Mark, they do sometimes watch our streams. Now, out wide to Grant Williams. Bit of space opening up now for him on the short side, using that burst of pace. He is tackled by Tangi Noa Halafanua. Now, Oxnishe. Big carry forward. Sage Fisiohoi making the tackle on him. Pollard across to Vincent Koch. Great ball running, but that is going to be Ben Tame Funa again, causing problems. Springboks, though, with Rainak. Take it straight back. Tame Funa yet to make his way back to his feet. Now Jesse Creel goes across to Vincent Koch. Cleaned out as well by Creel in that breakdown. Now Rainak popping it up again to Dion Fourie. Springboks not rushing this. Inside ball from Andre Bola goes to Jesper Visa. Set him up there. 2 Tongans were waiting for him. Ronak cross now to Andre. He stays and close to the touchline, driven out by the 3 Tongan players. Whinianisi Whekatoa, as well as, who that man? He's underneath. It was Pulu who had that. We've got there, Nebra says a shadow, and also we should teach Hamish some Afrikaans swear words. I know quite a few of them because I've been called a lot of them by South Africans in the chat before. And what? Says Sumida. And let's go to the box, guys. A great commentary, thanks, Hamish, says Russell Dodd, and great play by Tonga, says but yeah, it was great work from Ben Tamefuna to get that initial turnover, but Reinach, the attacking urgency to see that it was available for him to then be able to take that ball straight back. Oh, Luke Pearce sounds like he's losing his voice. He needs a bit of water too. Hamish, are you single, says Lena? I am indeed. I'm a single boy, but then saying that with my sleep schedule, it makes it very tricky to be able to go out during the day because I'm almost on the Northern Hemisphere time zone. We have got the Hamish already knows a few as he has received from the unwanted commentary. When people don't agree, says Denzel. And also we have got there, can't wait even this, or can't even watch this on the SABC, just a black screen with scattered commentary unless government department, or useless government department, says Cameron David. Now Stephen Kitsoff making his way onto the field. Same with Trevor Nakanye to replace Vincent Koch. Okay, number 1 is HIA for Oxnashe, and then number 3 is not tactical, they've said, or is tactical. My daughter is single, Hamish, says Timid. Now it is going to be thrown in by the Tongans 10 metres out from the line. Good party Saturday night. I didn't end up going. I asked the one person that I knew with that name, and they were like, no, it wasn't me. So I didn't find out where it was taking place. The Onfori now 10 metres out from the line. Oxnashe has been gone off the field for the HIA, which brings Kitsoff out there, which isn't exactly a bad thing for them. Now knock on in the breakdown, though, from the Springboks. Little unforced error made by Jasper Visa. Irish time has offered his daughter, says Jody Cook, or Tim has offered his daughter. I think that is. And congratulations to the Penrith Panthers. Nathan Cleary has to go. Make him an immortal ASAP. What happened to Mapimpi? He actually took a knock on the nose earlier on in the game. He did seem like he had a little bit of a black eye forming. So he hasn't actually returned back out onto the field. I assume that he didn't pass his HIA, unless they just decided that they should take him off just to be safe. See there, Bongi or Manambi looking on, running the waters today. I have a daughter, Hamish, says Ian Foster. Might get a wife here, Hamish. They love you, says Stull. And goats are worth money, says Crown and Glory. Scrumpy now for the Tongans, 7 metres out from their own try line. So quite a bit of distance to make up the field. Or broken nose, says Matthew. Yeah, I guess maybe. I'm trying to think with that eye. Sometimes if you do get the bump on the nose, it does end up blowing up just above the eyes. Doesn't it? Reinhardt giving away the penalty around the side of the scrum. He was in front of the ball. Apologises to his teammates. Why is that no video available? Says Mias, it is pretty much because of the licensing. If we show any match footage or audio, we get taken straight off YouTube. And we are banned for 3 months. Fathers selling their daughters in the chat. Says Scrumless. And also we have got there, they got 100k just for the AFL final, says Trajan. That one has gone into Dutch though for the Tongans. 40 metres out from their own try line now. You can see Trevor Nakanya, he has already built up a sweat by running out onto the field to replace Vincent Koch. Reinhardt frustrated with that one. Did apologise to his teammates though. And they said he failed the HIA. Okay, so yeah, that means he's probably going to be missing for that quarter-final match, I would believe. Now Pulu, cross to Peter Aki, the first receiver, gone over the top to Whinianisi. Now the space starting to open up for Tonga, but he does decide to opt for the kicking boot instead deep into Springbok territory. Waiting for it was Grant Williams. Looks like he's going to run it rather than going for the kick, although he has been tackled early by the Tongans. Now Vili LaRue forced to try and run it. Salisi Pieta may have hit him in the back of the head with the arm. Protecting it now. Kitsoff. Hits it up. Runs straight at Tangi Noa Halafanua. Eye orbital injury. That's the one that I was trying to remember the name of, but couldn't quite, unfortunately. But yeah, the orbital bone might be a little bit wonky for Makazole Mapimpi, nicely taken by Anzelo Tutavuki on the halfway line, but the Springboks get the penalty. Number 14 off the feet, that is against Fini Anisi in this case. Now they are going to be looking to kick this one for the corner here, the Springboks. Keep that pressure being applied. Willie LaRue thought about it. I don't know what he's complaining about. I think he was complaining because the referee was standing in his way when he wanted to go for the kick. But fun fact, Willie, you're not the kicker. Give it to Hondre. We have got their best wishes to the UAE cricket. And that sounds like hard work, Crumpus. And also we have got their chat as well. Africa to make or too much fufu, says Mali. And also Ling not working, says Suan in there as well. Now 22 metres out from the line. Dion Fori. His lineouts, they've been 100% today. Same can be said about Paula Nyaumu though. He hasn't actually missed a beat when it comes to line-out time either. Now, Trevor Nakanya offloads it up to Reinach, off to Pollard, inside ball to Kane and Moody. He has also been able to score himself a try throughout this game. I should mention, if South Africa get themselves a try now, that will secure them the 5 points if they manage to walk away with the victory. Asper Vesa finds the offload up to Trevor Nakanya. 5 metres now between the box and the try line. Reinach, big shot coming in on Kitsoff there by Peter Aki. Now Reinach short ball. Once more to Jasper Vesa. Recycled quickly. Looks like Dion Foree looking to the short side. I think that was Willie LaRue. This looks like an injury to the face. Although Jesse Creel has gone over for the bonus point try for the box. That Jesse Creel, he's only been on the field for about maybe 30 minutes or so due to that injury. It looks like Huaha Smith, he is about to make his way onto the park as well for the box. 49 minutes in. Jesse Creel scores his first try of the contest, but not the first of his Rugby World Cup campaign. We have got there yes, box is Tyrone. And also best wishes to India cricket. And also Jesse Creel muscles over. Says sighted. And yeah, I'm not too sure who the injured Tongan player was, but you hope that it's nothing too serious for him. So we head closer towards their last game of the Rugby World Cup. I'm just looking there. No one's down at that point. It kind of looked like Ben Tamefuna, but just not as large. Oh, he's a big enough boy, though, whoever it is. It might be Ben Tamefuna who did stay down, although I don't believe he's gone off the field as of yet. I bet Jesse Creel in an arm wrestle. And also, I watched DSTV, says Emerson Knight, and Villy offers, often talks a lot, says Hillary. He does. That kick from Pollard straight down the middle once again. That is 4 from 4. In fact, 4 from 4 for Hondre Pollard today. Huaha Smith, I think he'll be on the field for Dwayne Vermeulen. And I guess, and it looks like Hondre Pollard will now be coming off the field, being replaced by Mani Lebok and Jaden Hendrickse, now making his way out there for Kobus Reinach. So the Springboks almost emptying their subs bench. I don't believe Tonga have used a single sub as of yet. They look like they're very close to it. Adam Coleman is ready. So that the bonus point? It certainly is. So the Springboks now on 5 points for this game if they walk away with the victory. And congrats Pollard, says Chloe. But yeah, did exactly what he needed to in that game, Hondre Pollard. My big question now is what can Mani Libok do off the bench? Do we start to see a little bit more attack and urgency from the Springboks, or do they decide to keep it the same when they have Pollard out there on the park? Do you think Pollard got a spot back? I believe so. With the fact that he was able to get his kicks over was one thing, but the fact that he made all the tackles that he needed to, with the fact that he was also able to help with a couple of the passing options in that backline, I think that Pollard is secure at 10 now. Great play, Pollard. Fantastic, says Alta. And also 52 minutes and just 28 points to 8. Pollard off, Lebok on. Pollard had a good game, says Brian. This looks like a stoppage here. Charles Piatel taken out in the air. Just stay down. Eben hits a bit. Oh, just stay down. Eben grabs him by the hand and says, yep, you're up, bud. And just lifts him back to his feet. It looks like Piatel, they're just testing him out. Make sure he's all right. It was a big shot coming in on him. Yeah, Eben. Oh, shoulder to the mush of Charles Piatel as he landed. They're going upstairs. Etzebeth, could he be in trouble for his Rugby World Cup finals? I believe it's only going to be a yellow card at worst, though. I can't see this as a red. And if it is a red, I'd be extremely surprised. But they will go with the yellow card first initially if he is going to be given that yellow card. Yeah, Piatel going up for the ball, landing, and then that's when Eben connected with the shoulder to the head. No card, and surely that's accidental. Yeah, unfortunately, he just ended up overrunning it, Ebenezer-Beth. He was kind of chasing after Ben Tamefuna, then managed to get his way through, and then, like, it's nothing that I'd say is more than a yellow. And if it's given as a yellow, I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't see it as anything more than yellow card. Although he is very upright, Ebenezer-Beth, so that might be something that hurts him here. It is foul play because he's upright. They've just said that exact thing that I mentioned. It's direct to the head, they've said. Because of Ben Tamefuna interfering with him in terms of running in his way, that is why they consider Ebenezer-Beth as just a penalty. And Ebenezer-Beth, he apologises to Piatel. The crowd boo it. We just thought there was a lot happening there, says Luke Pearce. So the reason that it's not given as a yellow card, ladies and gents, is because Ben Tamefuna was in Ebenezer-Beth's way. So because that, Ebenezer-Beth stepped around Tamefuna, then shouldered him in the head. But because he had to step around him, it becomes the penalty only. But yeah, a yellow card would have been like maximum you could have given there. Absolutely maximum. But it is just a penalty now. There's no fault on Ebenezer-Beth's part, says Brian. That kick has been put into touch there by Tonga. Crowd don't like us, says Rachel. The apology from Ebenezer-Beth. I love the fact, though, that when it happened, Luke Pearce was like, we'll just stay down, don't worry, just stay there. And Ebenezer-Beth went over, just picked him up by the hand and said, no, I didn't get you that well, did I? And Piatel, he was of the same, he was like, no, I'm fine. What do you mean? Now Ben Tamefuna, shortside Hendrickser, has just been flattened by Tamefuna's body. 10 metres out the line, Tonga trying to up the tempo here, and it looks like Sonatane Takalua is another man that they have brought onto the park. Waha Smith going for the counter ruck and the breakdown. It looks like it is actually for Jasper Visa that he has made his way onto the field for, rather than Dwayne Vermeulen. That does make sense, seeing as Visa did play the last contest up against the Irish, whereas Dwayne Vermeulen, he was rested. Now just round the side, Tonga with Malakai Feketoa in the pick and go. And a close in on the try line once more here for Tonga. And then 3 metres out from the try line, Sage Fisi Ahoy wanted it, but Takalua says, give me the ball. It looks like it's still stuck in there. Springboks looking for the turnover, but kicks off, loses footing. Tamefuna now once again has another carry. He's probably at the most tackles and most gain line carries throughout this contest still up to this point. Now Takalua back again as Sam Lausi, the elusive number 5. Piraki, bit of a juggle there, but it opens up the chance. William Billy pass on the outside to Finia Nisi. They will score twice against the Tongans now. Against the Springboks now. Finia Nisi out wide. There we go, Finney. Oh no, I didn't put a capital. And Nisi, the try. Oh, I didn't put a capital again. Surely that time. Yep, we got it that time. Finney and Nisi, though, in the 53rd minute. Tonga is still trying to fight back in this contest. And also, we have got Diego Bock. And what's the time at the moment? It is 54 minutes through this game. The best defence in the world says fly on the wall. Although at this stage of the Rugby World Cup, I believe they were close to conceding the least amount of tries. Although now, of course, that has changed. They were the one of only 2 sides in round number 1, the Springboks, who did not concede a try in their match. Game on, says Justin, a nice one, says Ian Foster. And also brilliant play from Tonga, says Jonesy. Yeah, just lured in the defence. And then from there, it was actually the juggle with Peter Aki, which meant that the Springboks, they slightly hesitated. And that actually helped them in that regard, Tonga, to get over the line. What's wrong with South Africa? Why isn't there the greater defence or difference in the score? I think that's the thing. Tonga have been pretty decent in this game. I know that they were supposed to come in and get beaten by quite a drastic margin, but the way that they've played in this game, like this scoreline kind of is a representation of what we've seen throughout this contest. How many more minutes left? Still another 25 minutes remaining. Thank you very much, Nate, for your super sticker as well. You don't know if the Bok team will get past the quarterfinal. Conceding too much, says Robin Wood. Oh, number 3, White. What's happening with Ben Tamefuna? Who's captain now? Okay, Ben Tamefuna will be making his way off the field here. Oxnechet also back out on due to the HIA being passed, but Tamefuna Sorry for making noise by clapping, but he has had an absolutely brilliant game. In this one, he's been everywhere. He scored the try. Definitely, he would be a man of the match contender if Tonga won. 10 carries, 5 tackles made for Tamefuna, and a majority of those carries he's made his way over the try line in there as well. I guess that's a good question, ladies and gentlemen. Currently, as we sit, who would you say would be the Springboks player of the match? Would you give it to Pollard, or is there someone else out there that you feel has done better? The referee plays a very important part in these matches, says Neelan. Exactly right. So far, Tonga have been penalised. I believe it is... How many times have Tonga been penalised? They've been penalised 8 times compared to South Africa's 7. So Tonga have had the worst of the discipline throughout this game. You are correct. And now... Sorry, I know that wasn't what you were meaning, was it? And also, I can't see it, says Alia. Oh, no arms. Oh, no arms tackle from 18 Red. That's the man who's just come on the field for Ben Tamefuna. And Dwayne has been massive, says Justin. Yeah, he's put in a big shift. Marnie Libok now kicking this one for the touchline. Gets it 5 metres from the try line. And Pollard was in contention, but he was subbed off. Esa Hazen is having a good match. That is also, yeah, that's a good point. Andre Esthazen been solid. Moody on his outside hasn't been too shabby either. I think the only thing that will hurt Moody is maybe the fact that he's been penalised 2 or 3 times for offside. That would be the one dampening factor for him. And also knock-ons, their short videos, and Dwayne for man of the match, says Leon. Oh, sorry, Leon. Wait, I said that twice the same way, didn't I? And Pollard says Tessa. And now it's a knock-on, is it, from the Springboks? Yes, it is at line-out time. It's gone wrong. 56 minutes in, Adam Coleman putting on that extra pressure. And have no fear, Kwaka is near. And also France going to be unstoppable. Says John, although France will have to go through a little bit of a reshuffle, I guess you could say, with the fact that Dupont and Intermac, both of their key players, are going to be in a tricky position. Quick question, why is the ref an obstruction or on the goal line whenever we defend? Says Mornay. That is a good question. I know that Luke Pearce is one of those fellows who normally like to be directly behind the breakdown, but hopefully he wasn't too much. And the way 46 likes needed, says Styles, so our score at the moment is correct as well. The score is 13 points to 28 with that kick missing, which does mean that the Tongans would need 2 more converted tries and something to be able to get themselves the win in this game. But I should mention, anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like on the channel. Also subscribe. We are only sitting 95 away from our goal by the end of the stream. I think we're going to be able to blow it out of the water. That child is crying. It's a Springbok supporter. It's not happy with what he's seen so far throughout this second half. He wants to see more tries. I think the kid was like 1, by the way. I get the ref out of the way. Says Fried Egg. And also we have got the Imagine a converted try from Tonga, making it 28 points to 20. It's how we're going to need sub Leroy on. Leroy? Who's Leroy? And also South Africa's supposed to be on 40 plus already. Nearman says Andre. And also Springboks, what's happening? And also we have got there, would you consider Kobus Reinach as man of the match? He's had a very good game as well, Kobus Reinach, scoring the first try. They have now switched Hendrickser on there. Leroy Jenkins, says Ian. And also try for Villy, says Shana. Now passed across, knock on there from the Tongans. Esthazen flicks it back now to Jesse Creel. Villy LaRue covering a lot of ground to get to that one, and he will score in the corner. Oh, Villy LaRue, yes he does. Well done from Willie Villiado to get across there. I thought he was running in easy peasy, but he had to go around the challenger. And Villy LaRue, he'll be happy about that one. They'll score the try for the Boks. 90th cap as well, they've just mentioned for Villy LaRue. He's closing in. Oh, will he get to the 100? No pun intended, but it would have been a good one because 10 more games, theoretically, he could play in 3 more throughout this World Cup maximum. Rugby Championship is normally 6 games. Has Villy LaRue got 100 in him, or will he be just short of those 100? Gets that it is a try. Great cutout pass. And then from Jesse Creel to get him over the line. I'll allow Willie to say something now. Says Rachel, a mistake has ended the game for Tonga. Good game though. And also we have got the Springbok all the way. And also what a beauty. 68 points to 13. Says fit with ease. And also what a try, says Andre Vermeulen. And also if the Muckbok world champion. Also I know this has been asked a lot. But how does the extra points thing work again? So the Springboks at the moment, no matter what, they're walking away from this game with at least 1 point for being able to score 4 or more tries. But then from there, if they win the game, they also get that additional 4. So the max they can get from this game is 5, which would put them in a good position to make it through to the quarterfinals. That kick has gone over from Mani Libok from the touchline as well. 100% for that man. I'll be honest, I'm really glad that kick went over for Mani Libok. He's trying to match Pollard, which I feel isn't a bad thing at all. And Andre Pollard is the man of the match. And I'm cheering for Mani, says Gus, and the Libok legend is in the making. And also we have got there, thank you Amish, says CNOT, and bloody advert, says Rachel. Yeah, YouTube, it's a weird one, because I think they now have mid-live stream ads, and I don't really know how to do it. Like, I don't know how to turn things off and on. I just show up and do these streams, and then, like, luckily, most of the time they work. Going to be all offside for the Tongans in that chase. I see that now Mako van Staden has actually made his way onto the field as a replacement in the loose forward trio, replacing Khaleesi. And also we've got there, Nerves calms down, and also we've got there, Kwaka's work rate is usually very high, says Hillary. And Tonga should give up. I don't think so. I feel like looking at the scoreline, if you look at pre-match, the amount of predictions that had the Springboks getting to 100, the amount of predictions that had Springboks getting to over 70 plus, I was one of those people. I said that I thought the Springboks would win this game 77 points to 14. I actually upped it from my original prediction of 67 points to 14. But Tonga have played a lot better than a lot of people gave them credit for in this game. And I feel like it is great to see that they have been able to be competitive throughout this game. I feel like the Springboks will appreciate it because that gives them a little bit more of a challenge rather than a walkover as they head towards those quarterfinal games. They would have wanted to test out some physicality up against a side that's trying to match them as well. The scrum penalty goes the way of Tonga. The Springboks conceding early. I believe that it was against, was that Stephen Kitsoff, in fact, penalised for that one on the far side. We have got there, they just played an advertisement while watching a live stream, says Justin there. And also we have got there, so proud of our boys in green, says Brother. And also I missed a few earlier on, but you are the man with the commentary and good pronunciation of the name, says Falifatu. Thank you very much. And what's up with the Tongan score, says Peter Wild. I think it's going better than some people thought that it would for the Tongans. And now they have got the kick for the touchline. They'll be about 15 metres out. And 20 minutes remaining on the clock. Game needs to end. Springbok won this game, says Vavyesh. I think the bench would disagree with you for that case. They'd agree that they've won the game, but the bench won't want this game to end now. They want as many game time minutes as they can get before the Rugby World Cup. In this game for the Springboks, yes, winning was important, but it was also about trying to get players in form heading into those quarterfinals, giving players their opportunities to be able to shine. So, like the Springboks, they would play for 100 minutes if they were allowed to. In fact, they would ask to if there was an option. But Marvin Ori now making his way off the field. Franco Mostert has made his way out there now. I'm a Kiwi and I don't even know who our neighbour's Prime Minister is. I'm not interested in politics, says Trajan. Greetings, Hamish in the chat. You're doing a fantastic job with your commentary in this World Cup. Says, it was Mountains of Asylum. Thank you very much, mate. Now it's gone down. 10 metres out from the line. Ball is available for Tonga now. So it's on the Tane Takalua. Singing it across. We have got there, whose side are you on? Just asking, says Deborah. I'm completely impartial in this matchup. As you guys know on the commentary, we try our best to be straight down the middle. That is going to be the penalty, though, for the South Africans, and it is the number 20, Mako van Staden. Man, he got plenty of turnovers throughout the URC season for the Vodacom Bulls. Just done it again here for the Box. Did you enjoy the Panthers last night? I didn't get a chance to watch that game, seeing as that was my only chance that I did have to sleep, but like a pretty decent game by the looks of it. We have got there the Kiwi lads. Thanks for the commentary, says Deborah. No worries at all. Anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are closing near the end of this game. We are only 90 away from our goal of the 36,500. So if you do want to help us get there, it is very greatly appreciated. But be sure, hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more of the Rugby World Cup coming just around the corner. We are covering every single game of the competition. Do you reckon Tawera? I say Roy Gardy's the man. Tawera been in France. He actually won a tournament with his club he's with. I'm sure he's captain. He actually goes out with my mate Kerry. Says Hayden now, nice offload from Mako van Staden. Great hands from Jesse Creel. Moves up to 22 metres out from the line now for the Springboks. They look to get the counter-attack going. Mani Libok, nice slinging pass to Vili LaRue. Goes on the outside to Moody. Sells the dummy, goes himself. Didn't get the try though. Instead, Grant Williams. That's going to be Mako van Staden instead, who gets over. Moody likes to think he's going to go over the try line every time he gets close, doesn't he? But that might have just been a simple pass up to Williams. Could have been an easier try, but instead now Mako van Staden does end up with it. He's only been on the field for less than 5 minutes, and in the 63rd minute, replacing Sia Khaleesi has now got himself that first try of the match for him. We have got there 40-15, go to the box, says Jeffrey. And also we have got there almost at 1,000 likes, come on, says James Livingston, sorry. And nice boy, says Shane. And go Tonga, says Kanatesi there. Mostert is always a sure bet and consistently good. And he actually got helped over the line there, Mako van Staden, by Franco Mostert, who was on his arm. Is a Springbok a hunting animal like a puma? Don't think so. I think Springboks, from what I've heard, are actually the ones who get hunted. The animal, that is, not this team. They hunt whoever's across from them in a game of rugby. But yeah, I think it's it's like a deer, or like a kind of modified deer. Well, not modified. They didn't like put it in a lab, but like it's like a deer thing, isn't it? A Springbok. And I subscribe, good commentary. Says it was there from Query. Thank you very much. Now Mani Libok to line up this kick here for the Springboks. Kick's gone over as well. He's sitting 2 from 2. And that will now make the score 42 points to 13. Type of antelope, says Leon. That's the word that I was thinking. Small antelope, says Herman. And also Springboks were always going to steam ahead in the second half. Yeah. And it was, as this match wore on, it was that question mark of whether or not Tonga had used all their gas in the first half and whether or not the subs were going to be able to do well. You have to commentate on South Africa because the New Zealand won't win, hey? Says the South African prepper, although New Zealand at this stage look like they're going through to the quarterfinals, covering all the URC, or as much as we can, covering Super Rugby, we cover all rugby. That's happening around the world. That's going to be nicely taken by Dion Fourie, who I think's had a more than solid enough game. And that asks the question now, should he be the starting 2 in the game up against the French in the quarterfinals, if that is the way that it sits, or would you still go with the other option of Bongyo Manambi? Now it's a knock-on once again, this time from Pieta. Oh, Mako van Staden has fallen over his own feet. He got tackled by a ghost. Now, Charles Pieta running sideways, 40 metres from his line, crosses to William Havili, goes for the kick, and behind, no one back there for the Springboks. 50-22 is the chance, and Billy LaRue taps it into touch, and it will be now the 50-22, or the equivalent of, for the Tongans. I love man, says South African prepper. And also we're going to go box, says Miralise. And also we are the champions of Lawak. It's actually doing good this time. Proud of him, says Stepo. And also Springboks will make it to the quarter surely, says Fried Egg. Yeah, Billy LaRue just ran that one into touch. He did not want to play with it while inside of his own 22 there. And Antelope. And also we have got there sudden gust of gravity for Marco, says Gus. Now, line out throw for, I believe it's still Paul and Yaumu. They haven't made the change of Sam Molly as of yet. Off the back there, Vailanu. Going now off to Peteraki. William Havili slinging pass. Goes out to Finney Anisi. Now the Springboks 3 defenders all running across the cover. Vili LaRue, the man who does make the first initial tackle. Sonatani Takaloa goes off to Tangi Noa Halafanua. Now again, big run. Although over the ball this time, Dion Fourie wins the penalty. Slowly working his way towards the man of the match. Could be a possible option. And also that's not the score, says Abigail. But it is. It's 42-13 after it's 67 minutes now, if that helps. But this is the score in the game. From a book, well done Tonga thus far. You played your hearts out and go to Boca, says Sim Kelly. And there, and it's a Bok thing tonight, says Carl Thum, and also Dion Fourie is my man of the match. Yeah, he's incredibly stepped up. Interesting. In that breakdown, we've seen those. Oh, we got 2 Teletubbies. One of them looks like he's Pablo Matera. Surely he's not wearing a Teletubby suit watching the Springboks play. And wow, says Michael. And also we have got there Springboks speed endurance, intellectual jumping beasts, says Stephen. Now, Andre Esterhazen still out there on the field. Nice hands through the back. Oh, we're going back for something. What's that for? I think it's a forward pass from Vili LaRue. One of the more strict calls that we've seen throughout this game, but we will get to see a replay and also a good score. I'm happy at the moment. Are you getting close to your predictions, says Kreri? Yeah, we're not a mile off, although I did up it to 77 rather than 67 Please let that be Matera, says Gus. Yep, forward pass from Villy Larue, just a little bit forward. Villy Larue couldn't believe it. Like the commentator said, you always got to argue that it was backwards, just in case. They're not feeling so well tomorrow, says Edward. And also we have got there, I don't think there is any way South Africa don't make the quarters, says Colin. Yeah, it's a weird one because I know that head-to-head result comes into it. But if all three sides end up on the same points, theoretically, Scotland, the only way for them to qualify is they have to be number 1, I think, or they have to beat Ireland anyway. That's their big one. But yeah, it's a weird scenario. I believe South Africa are pretty much safe though, no matter what. Update scoreboard, please. See Lena. Although it is the correct scoreboard. It's 68 minutes through. Penalty this time goes the way of the Springboks. I cannot update the scoreboard if teams aren't scoring, sadly. The way the Springboks are whipping Tonga is like a death sentence for now. The injection has made them fall into deep sleep. Now they're going to be paralysed. Last we stop in the heartbeat. Tonga are ranked 15th in the world rankings. I just need to mention, I feel like Tonga in this game, they have well and truly stepped up to the plate though. And yeah, I think they need a lot of credit for what they've been able to do throughout this game. The Springboks though, they were valiant in the way that they were able to stop the Tongans when they were just out from their own try line. Because a lot of sides would have conceded there with the amount of pressure that Tonga were putting on. But the Springboks defensively have been strong throughout this game. Now we have got a donation as well. Box to beat Tonga by 37 plus points for guaranteed quarter spot. Thanks for the great commentary. And there as well from Franz Smith. And I was really a good answer about the scoreboard, says Chloe. And Springboks got this in the bag, says Bavyesh. And I also love the sarcasm regarding updating the score when there isn't any scores to update. Although now the Springboks getting close to maybe changing it up a little bit. Nice run forward for Ronde stays, but they will go back for the initial penalty in favour of Tonga. Never released the ball, so he got back up, win again. Thanks for the commentary, says Mark. Thank you very much for being here for these streams. And goodness, I shouldn't have had another beer. I need a good excuse not to attend my 8:30 meeting tomorrow morning, says Jody. It sounds like the ref had a good game, says Hillary. I think he's been very good throughout this game, Luke Pearce. I don't think there's too many controversies that we could say have come out of this match. Both sides been penalised pretty evenly. 8 penalties against the Springboks, 12 against Tonga. Update the scoreboard, please. But it's the right score on the board. A good commentary, bro, says Agier. And also, I give them my one last point. Says Lena and Kiwi lads in the house, says Davey in there. Sounds like there's a couple more changes being made. Willie Havili will be making his way off the field for the Tongans. And then also that'll be for Pellegrini. Vailanu's already out there. I'm trying to work out who this last... It might be... Tamapo's already on the field. That might have actually been Sam Molly, who just made his way onto the field. Awesome, South Africa, says Yuli. Now 10 minutes remain. Takaloa slinging pass. It's loose. Hendrickse was after it. Sam Molly, though, inside ball to Tuitavuki. He's been busy out on that wing. Dwayne Vermeulen looking for the turnover. Doesn't manage to get it. Tolamatangi runs straight at Dion Fourie. And like I mentioned, that man will pretty much tackle a brick wall if he had to. Vailanu finds the off-foot away now. Pellegrini nailed in that shot by Mako van Staren. It's good ball security, though, from Tonga because the Springboks are getting into every breakdown. Let's get 50 plus to be 37 clear. I think your scoreboard messages to the Bok, not you, says Gus. And also, we have got their love your commentary, Hamish. Thank you very much, mate. Now, 50 metres out. That has to be Dion Forie's ball. He's managed the turnover again. Right, he's got man of the match, I feel. Yes, he's had more time out there on the field than some of the other contenders, and that might be why he has got himself that man of the match, but he has been a very impressive player throughout the first 71 minutes. Kicked him behind from Jaden Hendricks. A bit of a nothing kick, and now allows a little bit of pressure to be put back onto the South Africans as they run it out from their own 22. Mani Lebok having an attack and run, manager to find the gap, ball on the outside to Grant Williams, slinging it around. They just couldn't quite find the overlap. Now Tamapo off to Pellegrini, kicks it in behind himself, going towards the touchline, stays in the field of play. Pellegrini, what a try for him, and gets it right on the 72nd minute. Bit of individual brilliance. That's probably try of the game, I would say, for Pellegrini, another player who hasn't been on the field for too long at all but scores it. That is the third try. Tonga are 1 try away from getting themselves a bonus point for scoring 4 or more tries. Who's man of the match? I would give it to Dion Fori for what he's been able to do. And well, says Gus, but it was that kick downfield from Jaden Hendrickson, which initially started the back and forth, and then not quite linking up there for the box. Tamapo swoops up on the ball. Pellegrini close to the touchline, gets the favourable bounce back into the field of play, and then has just enough pace. Marco van Staden all but stopped him. Hello, this is Rugby Says Yutami, and having the ball play on in South Africa plant and listening. And John D.A. says South African. And also, bro, what about Will Jordan's first try against Italy? That was crazy. Says Hayden there. And also, we've got Tonga could be in for a bonus point of their own. Yeah, they've scored 3 tries so far throughout this game. And Tonga try and don't relax yet, Bok, says Jane. And also, nice try, says Rachel. And Fuff is being saved, says Fried Egg. What a nice broadcaster, Hamish Galbaptista in South Africa. Another kick for Pellegrini to convert his own try. He's missed. It's gone away to the side, so that will make the score now 18 points to 42. And it doesn't matter because we will better these frauds in the knockout 57-0 like in 2018. Says Russ. Is that against France, I assume, Russ, in that case? Springbok need to find similar. Says Baviesh. I remember the floating tackle, and also don't stop Dokos. Says Blues Nate there with another donation. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated for all your support on this live stream. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe as well. We are only 30 away now from our subscriber goal by the end of the match. Loose ball. Tonga, it's play on, and they're in open space. Tamapo passes on the outside. Bit of pace being shown by Piatel to Finianisi, the grubber for, but Jesse Creel manages to clean it up, hangs onto that ball, and goes into contact 10 metres out from their own line. Here the Springboks. They are under a huge amount of pressure here. Now Trevor Kanye, 5 metres out from his own try line, securing that ball. All good, so says Blues. No, sub says Cooley, thank you very much. And rugby is for aristocrats, soccer is for the peasants, says FOMO Dark Mode. And defence is good. There's not our A team. Pollard will get into his group final, will be South Africa versus Ireland, says Pierre Smith. Although, to be fair, there's some players who are definitely stepping up in this game that are putting their names up as a chance at that A side. Whether or not that is what we've seen from Dion Fori, can he start ahead of Bongi or Manambi perhaps in those playoff fixtures? And go Greenland, says Bernard. And also, so he is not playing, says Lily. Andre Pollard, Faf de Klerk is injured, so he's not playing, says Lily Long. A great commentary mate, says Israel. And the 1K likes. So yeah, thank you all very much for hitting that like button. We are currently sitting on 1,047, so let's see how high we can get that by the end of the stream. Tonga still on attack though. Sitting 20 metres out the line. Good tackle made by Andre Esterhazen. Around the side of the breakdown, Takalua, 5 metres out. Dwayne Vermeulen has to make the last-ditch effort round the side. Now it's going to be via, in fact, it is Halaleva Fafita. Takalua going off to the right. Tamapo has to take the diving catch. He is nailed in the tackle by Esterhazen and Etzebeth. Now Sonatane Takalua, pop pass up again, goes back to Halaleva Fafita. Another tackle made by Dwayne Vermeulen. He has probably made around 10 to 15 throughout this game. Now back to the left. Tangi Noa Halafanoa. Ankles taken out from underneath him. Now back into the pocket to Pellegrini. He's added a little bit of X-Factor. Ebenezer on the ball, lost his footing. So was unable to get that turnover. After 10 phases now for the Tongans. They get their 4th for a bonus point here. Sam Molly hitting it up at the line. This is not how the Springboks want to end the game. They will want to have their hands on the ball a lot more. That's a penalty, though, to them in their favour. And that is due to the side entry from Halaleva Fafita. In fact, it's against the Sifo Apakatoa as well, I believe. That's not bad pronunciation for Tonga. Too nice, says Aiden. And also, Tonga smallest defeat says it was FU is the name. And South Africa off their ruck, or off their feet in the ruck. And brilliant Tonga. And also points difference might knock us down to 3rd. And quick question, will the ABs qualify for the quarters? Thank you from Ontario, Canada. So if the All Blacks beat Uruguay, they will confirm their spot. And then if Italy or France, whoever wins that game will be the other team. They make it through to the quarters. So Italy still have a chance of qualifying for the quarters, and they could knock out the team in first. be in France. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. All loose ball there for the South Africans. Looks like an ugly knock there for Andre Estes, and I believe he took a knee to the head. But he's still trying to make his way back up to his feet to continue this matchup. Now Estes might end up receiving this ball. He's already in space, trying to be in the counter or in the pocket. Oh, Kana Moody runs into the back of Finianesi. That player was in touch, ref. It's going to be play on, though. Note now the ref has realised that he was out. So they will go back. So 24 points difference. And also we have got there Tonga Gutsy, have a great game. Or having a great game, says Jane. Yeah, they played a lot better than a lot of people gave them credit for. I was one. I said that the Springboks will win this game by around that 50-point margin. Hasn't been the case here. Instead, only sitting with that 24 at this point. We use the Northern Hemisphere side situation. We need another try. It's gone over the top. Loose ball. Knock on there from Tonga after the line out from Mako van Staden is not successful. Dion Fourie is livid at the moment. He's going, I could have thrown that one, Marco. Why do you have to do it? And Tonga's put in a good fight. And Tonga had a good start, says the new age. So South Africa qualify. My sleep depend on this answer. Says Joshua, they're closer to qualification. They will still have to wait eagerly to watch that game next week between Scotland and Ireland, though, to find out exactly whether they qualify first, whether they qualify second, or whether they do narrowly miss out just a little bit. But I believe with the way that it sits, South Africa have a very, very high probability of making their way through. How many minutes left? Still 1 minute 1 minute 20 remaining on the clock now. At least we have found out that Van Staden is not a hooker, says Stephen. And please explain why there needs to be a 37 points difference. I actually don't know. To be honest, a lot of people have been saying that 37 points difference number, but I believe that's to be second on the overall table heading into, well, it's something to do with that points differential, although head-to-head fixtures actually come into it first in terms of who goes through. I actually said South Africa to win 77, says Lowry. And also, are we going to win this match, says Munir. You certainly are. And 79 minutes. This will be the final score, although one last chance for Eben Etzebeth and his Springboks side to get over the try line. Jaden Hendrickse going across to Mako van Staden. Oh, trying to get over the ball was Vailanu. Now Hendrickse off to, Dion Fourie sent backwards by Sione Havili Talatui. Now Hendrickse off to Etzebeth once more. We're seeing a lot more of him throughout the second half, including in this last 10 minutes when he's really started to fire up. Trevor Akanye. Short of the line once more. Kits off. They are still around 15 metres out, but one good carry here will completely change their. Hendrickse goes off to Andre Estes and sells the dummy. Gets back up trying to go again. Now Hendrickse back across to Franco Mostert. It's looking very good for a Springbok forward to get themselves over the try line here. It's just that question who it's going to be. Kits off standing still. Wasn't expecting that pass. Has been driven backwards 1 metre for his trouble. Hendrickse now goes off to Etzebeth once more. To the right, Franco Mostert almost started crawling. There's the advantage in favour of the Boks. It's another try for Mako van Staden, who is mounted. No, it's not Mako van Staden. Sorry, it's Kwaka Smith who's got on. He got mounted by his teammate van Staden. But that will be another try for the Springboks. And Kwaka Smith scores it in the 80th minute of the fixture. So the Springboks ending this game on a high. And might just about bring up that half century. Although there'll be one short. Best commentator, thanks. Says Maricia. Thank you very much. I think I mispronounced your name, so I do apologise for that. But Marty Libok straight out in front of the post. This to make it 3 from 3 for him throughout today. Does this mean we play in the quarters, says Kriya? It means that they are very close. But there's still one little tiny technicality that could mean that the Springboks miss out, I believe. But I could be wrong there. They may have already qualified with that. But I know that a lot of people were throwing around that 37 points differential. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. That'll be a 31 points difference, though, between these two sides. 49 points to 18, the end score. Some brilliant individual performances from Springbok players. One comes to mind, Dion Fourie. What a game that man has had. Playing at starting hooker rather than that loose forward trio. In the loose forwards, he hardly gets game time in the hooker now. It's almost undeniable to start him in that quarter-final fixture. Honestly, not worried. There's no way Scotland is beating Ireland. And also we have their well done boys and also Tonga, Fiji, Samoa and Georgia are the districts, not a country. They never play cricket or the Soccer World Cup. Says Master, no, they are countries. It's just they don't play football. So it doesn't mean they're not a real place because they don't play in a football World Cup. And great commentary, thanks, Bowie. Says Stretch there, and thank you, Bok. Says Germano there, and well done, Bok. Says Lufundo, and great work, Hamish. Get some Z's. Says Gus, although we have got work soon, I think is the plan. And great commentary. Thanks for entertaining us. What is your name? Says Clear. So it is Hamish, which is not a very common name in certain regions of the world, I don't think, but spelled S, or no, it's not spelled S, it's spelled Hamish. I had to heavily think about how to spell my own name there. You see there, Ben Tamefuna having a chat with Sia Khaleesi. You see the mutual respect between those two men after what has been a pretty epic test match between the sides. Because the Springboks, they would have felt really challenged at times throughout this game, which is exactly what they would have wanted. A game that they have to dig in deep, push hard to then move on to their quarterfinals, because they have got a week off now, ladies and gentlemen. They will have to wait for just that little bit longer before their quarterfinals. Let's get 1,000 likes, says Nelly there, and also Green Obese Clowns. Is that to the Springboks side? I feel like there's only like an ounce of fat across their whole back line, and that's probably being harsh. We have got there 2 more tries, and also there says Kevin there, but Dion Foree, he gets the man of the match, so that has to, well, it had to be the case. Dion Foree gets the award. And tell you what, he's at a shift and a half. I'm going to find some of his stats for this game, but he was able to get himself not only the try. There we go. We'll look at this. Andre Estays and actually making a little late burst in terms of meters and whatnot for his side. In the defence, Dion Foree, he made 11 tackles, just missing the one on attack. He ended up having a total of 19 meters carried, which isn't a huge amount, but he had a few turnovers, one as well, for his side. Certainly helped them out on one Bok, and well done, Tonga. Thanks again for your fabulous game, Amish. Best commentary, South Africa. Says Goldberg there. And also, I read my comment. Says Kayazani. One moment, I'll have to try and find it. There are a lot of messages going through, so great stuff. Says Kayazani from earlier on. I did manage to find it. I had to go up about 50 messages, though, to find it, so that is why some of them do end up getting missed. I need Gold Chains replica of the Web Alice, 3 of them. Says Blues Nate, we are not already qualified. The Irish versus Scotland may decide. And also, we've got there, what should the results be for Scotland versus Ireland? So South Africa can qualify. Well, if Scotland lose, that straight away is qualification for the Springboks. If Scotland win by more than 10, I believe is the other side of things. Or more than 7 is the main thing, and Ireland cannot receive any bonus points throughout that game. One moment, we'll go like this. So pretty much the only technicality of how the Springboks can get knocked out is if Scotland beat the Irish by a large margin, then if Scotland take number 1 on the table, but then it looks at head-to-head. Head-to-head's a weird thing to do it for, because then it just causes confusion. But theoretically, if Scotland win up against the Irish by a decent enough margin, they'll boost up, and then Ireland and South Africa would be the head-to-head. But yeah, I feel like South Africa are pretty safe at this point, just with the fact that I highly doubt Ireland would lose by more than the 7 points in their game. Like, yes, they may end up losing to Scotland if Scotland play very well, but I don't see them completely going out. Is there any way that the Boks don't qualify for the knockouts? Only on that really small technicality, but I think they're going to be all right. They only care about rugby, said Siraj, and thanks, Amish, says Mr. H. And there, and also if Ireland score 4 tries and lose South Africa out, says Jimbo. And also Scots need to destroy Ireland to get through, and Ireland miss out, says Shane. And there are, what are the Springboks' chances winning the World Cup? They, for me, are still the favourite. Dwayne Vermeulen's trying to get into one of the Tongan kits, and he wasn't quite fitting the way that he wanted to. I think that was probably the opposite number of his. An awesome creation of a picture, though, words. Nice commentating, says Sky. Thank you very much. Anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Khaleesi and Ben Tamefuna are swapping jerseys. I know that Khaleesi won't have any trouble getting into it. Tamefuna might be quite the effort that he has to go through. Khaleesi's got that one on nice and easy. The green and gold jersey is our lucky charm. The checkered jersey doesn't do it. Says Sonic, a nice job, Bok. And good commentator, says Cole Thum. Thank you very much. An awesome creation. Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? And well done, good night. So anyone wondering about what we have got coming up in the future on the channel. We are covering every single game of this Rugby World Cup, including all 8 games from next week's France versus Italy. That will be a deciding game. Ireland versus Scotland could also have that same ability. Japan versus Argentina, whoever wins that goes through to the quarterfinals. So it is an all out there going absolutely berserk between those two sides. Fiji versus Portugal. That is going to be also a little bit decisive in terms of who makes their way through. If Fiji lose that game by more than 7, it will be the Wallabies. If Fiji win, or they do lose within 7, then it will be the Fijians advancing to the quarterfinals. We have got there. Thanks, Hamish. Been great as usual. Keep it up, says Jody Cook. And great stuff, says Manish. Thank you very much. Oh, my voice is about to give out. And by the sounds of it, not ideal. Once again, a massive thank you for your commentary. Says morning, no worries at all. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun over this weekend. We've had a huge amount of support on the channel, and it was all down to you guys being here. So yeah, it's very greatly appreciated. Hope you've been drinking water to keep the great commentator voice, says Simran. I have been drinking a little bit, although I probably should have finished this by the end of these live streams, because I'll feel it tomorrow when I try and talk and just dust comes out. Tonga best game thus far in this World Cup, says Georgia. Thanks, Hamish. Fantastic commentary on a fantastic game. And Lady Linda said, good night, Hamish. And thank you, Hamish. You're one of the best commentators, says Edwina. Thank you very much. I would start Dwayne and Lebock against France. Get Pollard on the bench. It's going to be really tough for the Box to go and beat France, says Shafiq. I feel like from this performance we're seeing from Andre Pollard, it almost has... I think you've got to start him and have Lebock come off the bench, because I think Lebock actually had a decent impact when making his way off the bench for this game. And he also nailed his kicks, which was absolutely awesome for him. Caldwell said, great commentary, and we are the best South Africa can go up. And we will win, or we won convincingly and did not play great. Villaroo needs to retire, says Ewan. And also we have got there, my heart is green. And great commentary once again, Hamish. Back to the grindstone for me. Well played to both teams, and don't know how we are going to beat France playing like this, says Sino. Well, the good news for the Springboks is they've got 2 weeks to work it out. They have still got quite a few changes that they will be making. In fact, we are going to have a video coming out probably either tomorrow or the next day, ladies and gentlemen, where we predict what the Springboks, or what we want to see the Springboks go with in their quarterfinal, semi-final, final, starting 15. So be sure to check that out when it does come out. It will probably be, like I said, maybe 1 or 2 days' time when it does get released. There might be a few little curveballs thrown in there as well. I think you're a wonderful commentator, says Tommy. Thank you very much, mate. And good commentary, says Lily Long. Thanks, Hamish. Actually, a tight game. Glad for the box, says Ocker. Yeah, it would have done him a huge amount of good getting all of his kicks over, because at least then now he can be like, well, yes, Pollard's taking my starting spot, but I'm still here. You know, I'm still reliable when you need me. And also we have got there, Pollard proved it can be done, says Chloe. An excellent commentary. I think you, oh no, I read that one, didn't I? And Sleepwell Box, Scotland are on form, says Tim Ed. And awesome guys, says Lavona. And also 49 points to 18. It's dodgy for the French game, says Jimmy O'Brien. And Pollard makes our backline look like old men, says Mawson. Great commentary and great game, says Bavish. And who was the man of the match? It was Dion Forey, after his brilliant performance at hooker, having 100% accuracy when it came to those line-outs, and also just really helping cement his side as a dangerous forward pack, definitely with that rolling ball. This should be Maori and the Roos last match for this World Cup, says Thornay. And also we have got there's the end of the 7-1 split. I believe 6-2 or 5-3 will be what the Springboks look at in the future games, just because they do still want that little bit of extra back cover. Definitely if you've got Andre Pollard in that starting lineup, you don't want to take too many risks in terms of if he's injured, then you've only got that one back to be able to replace him. So yeah, I'd say they'll go back to 6-2 or 5-3. Player of the match, it was Dion Forey. Managed to walk away with that honour. And thank you, Hamish, says the minute. And good night, Hamish, says a rooster in there as well. And yes, let's go, Bockies, says Lindy. And we are definitely bringing it home. Salute my brother in South Africa are a good side, says Funko Pops. And also we have got there, Hip Hip Hooray, South Africa as leading the way, said Edwina. And also we have got there, Cheers Irish. And also we have got there, Lydia Tonga Morse, says Morse. I don't know what that means, but I feel like Tonga, I don't think anyone would look at that performance from a rugby perspective and say that Tonga didn't put absolutely everything into that game and actually played a lot better than a huge amount of people were giving the Tongans credit for. I think that this performance compared to their two up against South Africa, or sorry, up against Scotland and up against Ireland, this was by far their best. And yeah, hopefully we see some sort of improvement in that game next week as well against Romania. I could see them putting 70 plus points on Romania if they play like they did in this game up against the Springboks. Villy doesn't cover his position well, doesn't really create anything. He's had his time that needs to be replaced, says Imran, and I thought Bok would go over our score. We got 5 points behind, says Jimmy O'Brien. In France, playing good rugby, we need to be careful, says Soccer Streaks. And Wales were more impressive, says Spud. And also pressure on Ireland now, says Hanoi. But I do thank you all very much for being here. Like I said, we did manage to reach that goal that we were looking for. But anyone else who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are back all of next week. Also, previews, reviews, and whatnot. We will have a review of this game coming out in the very near future as well. So be sure to check that out. To Mark and you have, says Rooster. And also we have got the Go Bok. You got to love the Bok. Let's hold thumbs up. Team South Africa, great commentary too. Thank you. And agree, Hamish. Tonga, best game so far. And thank you, Hamish. Hope to see and listen to you soon, says Silver Fox. And didn't any team score drop goals in this match, says DJ? They did not, no. And Hamish, you are very good at what you do, because I never really listen to commentary, but you got me good, says Edwina. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad to have you here for these streams. And we are here, like I mentioned, for every game of the Rugby World Cup. Also the URC, the 7 Super Rugby, 6 Nations, all of it coming up in the near future on the channel. So be sure, if you haven't already, to hit that subscribe on the box. Looked a bit beatable, says Fleshin. And Go Pollard, says Fire 2. And also, I'm not going to run Villy down. He speaks highly of me, says Bruce. And also load shedding South Africans, says John. Although at least they've got a win under their belt that they can look back at and say, yep, we are all right. Hamish man of the match, says George. And South Africa are dangerous from Switzerland, says Sabella. And 49-18 for the Bok, baby, says Edwina. And I was rooting for Tonga, says Mike. And like Tonga, like they didn't really, like they played well. That's the thing. They pushed the Springboks at times. And I've said it from the get-go, in this type of game, the Springboks wouldn't have wanted to run away. They would have wanted to be pushed. They would have wanted to be prodded so that when they see little errors in their game, they can then improve on that before being exposed in a bigger game. Because I think that this game for the Springboks would have taught them a lot more than if they had won it easy peasy 90-0. You know, at least now they know, right, we conceded 3 tries. We've got to try and stop that. How do we stop the opposition from scoring? Was it our defence where we're coming in too far? There'll be a lot of questions that the Springboks will be able to answer. Was it the players that were out there on the field? But either way, I see the Boks ending up with improvement from this contest going into their quarterfinals. But I do thank you all very much for tuning into this channel and also tuning into all of the live streams throughout the whole of the weekend. It has been a huge amount of fun. I have thoroughly enjoyed doing all of the streams, and yeah, look forward to next weekend when we've got some more rugby action taking place. Anyone who is just tuning in now, South Africa getting the win 49 points to 18. Reinach, Moody, Fori, Kriel, Villaroo, also Van Staden and Smith, the try scorers for the Springboks throughout this game. For the Tongans, they managed to score 3. Tame Funa, Fini Anisi, and also Pellegrini, scored the last one. And great commentary, thanks, says Quilla. And also I'll watch you for the next one. And also, okay, this group will end Ireland 19, South Africa 15, Scotland 10 or 11, says Brian. And also, thank you, Amos, says Sino. Okay, yeah, so commentators have not yet, they're showing the standings, and they haven't said that South Africa have fully qualified at this point. And thank you, Amos, says Sino. And Sleep Well, mate, says Vaviesh. And also, we have got the awesomely played Bok did it. And I have enjoyed all. Thank you so much, says Chloe. My blood is green and gold. Says great or just crazy stuff. And South Africa is safe. We shall meet whoever we meet in the quarterfinals, and we are ready for anyone, says Fusumuzi. Yeah, as well. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you are new, they are just showing, hang on, what we got here. Oh, okay, that's how the polls sit currently. They are saying that currently, as it sits, it would be Wales versus Argentina, which actually I believe will be the case at the end. It would be England versus Australia, but more than likely that will become Fiji. And then currently they're saying New Zealand would play South Africa if the polls sit the way that they are. But of course, still a couple more games to go before we get to the end of the game. Or a couple more matches that will determine who actually faces who. Good on you, mate, says I was here. And bro, our New Zealand today, says Shabir. We had a bit of everything, to be honest. Like, I was looking out at the weather just before, and it was raining. Then it was sunny now. The wind was blowing. But should be a good day. Hopefully I don't get too wet while at work. It'll be unfortunate. Cheers. Hey, good night, Hamish. Thanks again. Says Brian, and while Tonga got 18, they certainly did, scoring 3 tries along the way. The Tongans, none converted was probably the thing that hurt them the most. As with those conversions, they would have been sitting actually on 24 points in this game, and teamwork makes the dream work, says Edwina. And yeah, I think there were a few players who worked as a team in this matchup. There were still a couple who did look a little bit individualistic, as the word is that I like to make up. But I'm concerned about Makazole Mapimpi's injury. I don't know what extent that will be. It could end up being maybe a HIA failed 2 weeks he might be off for. And thanks so much, Hamish. Best commentary, says Lindsay, and great commentary. Thank you, says Jar. Nice work. Oh no, I read that one. And also Tonga played really well, says Di. They did. As predicted, South Africa versus the AB, says Andre. Although, of course, depending on what happens in France and also the Ireland game will depend on how that changes. But I believe that will change. I think it's going to be South Africa, France, and New Zealand, Ireland is the most likely two. We've got Hamish definitely through to the quarterfinals. Quite rightly, great job. Says Richard. The Box have to be better if they go through, says George. We need a Fuff de Klerk, says Lily Long. And while they scored 16 against Ireland, so, says Christo. But yeah, Tonga, I think, like I said, this was their best performance that they've had. We're not trying to discourage, or we're not trying to say that the Springboks defence was poor or anything along those lines. We're just saying Tonga played well. And they actually have been able to score consistently decent points throughout their World Cup games. So far, looking through at their previous fixtures, one moment, we will go like that, and we will go like that. Like, they've scored 16 points up against the Irish, 17 points up against the Scottish, and 18 points here up against the South Africans. So it's got to be praised for the Tongans, the way that they've been able to increase their points throughout this competition. And thanks, Hamish, says Modern Day Discipline. Or Modern Day Disciple, sorry, it was. Have an awesome night. Yeah, you're awesome. Says, oh, that's a tricky name. Is it Nthabising? Nthabising? Did the Box qualify, says Menzie? Pretty much. But there's only like a really, really small technicality way that I think they can miss out. But we will know by Ireland, South Africa next week. Or Ireland, Scotland next week. I get the calculator out. Can Ireland and Scotland still qualify, says Jimmy O'Brien? They certainly can. And we need a Willemser, says George. And there, looking forward to the next commentary. And like I mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, we will have a video out a little bit later on in the week, probably about 2 days' time, or maybe even about 24 hours' time, where we do predict what we would like to see as the starting XP for the Springboks throughout their finals playoff game. So be sure, give that video a watch as well. We will also have a review of this game coming out in the very near future. But I do thank you all very much for being here. It's been a great weekend. I look forward to the next one. We have got less than 28 days till the Rugby World Cup final. It's going to be an absolutely epic one. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave a like as well. And I will see you all for the next one.